Chicago, Indiana post office. The blast happening last night at a federal building at East Chicago and Kennedy Avenues, where Fire Chief Francisco Mendez says the blast happened happened late in the afternoon at that federal building.
It was actually inside. I cannot tell you exactly where, but it was inside, and we believe it was a package.
Authorities believe at least one explosive device inside of a package detonated at the scene. One employee hospitalized with minor injuries. Chicago City Council is going on record calling for a state law to replace the DACA program if its protection of undocumented illegal immigrants goes away. AM 560's David Stewart has reaction from the Chicago City Council.
Aldermen unanimously passed a resolution calling for the state to pass its own DREAM Act. Aldermen like Harry Osterman said Dreamers deserve protection.
All they want, all their parents want, is a better way of life. They want to contribute.
Mayor Emanuel says Governor Rauner should get behind such a law, but Rauner says no, it's an issue for Congress.
These children do not deserve to be left in limbo. We need resolution. We need comprehensive immigration reform through Congress.
Illinois has about 42,000 Dreamers. David Stewart, NBC News Radio, Chicago.
Chicago aldermen also moving forward with a plan to crack down on the sale of stolen cell phones in the city. The Chicago City Council approved an ordinance yesterday requiring businesses to consult a database to determine if a used phone up for sale has not been stolen. Aldermen also voiced unanimous approval of a plan to raise the minimum wage for contract workers at O'Hare and Midway airports to $13.45 an hour. A bench trial is underway to determine the fate of disgraced former Chicago priest Daniel McCormack. McCormack pleaded guilty in 2007 of molesting 5 children during his time at St. Agatha Parish in North Lawndale. He finished his prison term in 2009 and has spent 8 years at a downstate mental health facility for sex offenders. Now the Cook County judge will decide whether McCormack should remain in that facility indefinitely. A big oops by a Democratic candidate for governor, Daniel Biss, says he will move forward without Chicago Alderman Carlos Ramirez Rosa. State Senator announcing yesterday that he has dropped the city council member as his running mate over comments he made last year about the U.S. divesting from Israel. The decision comes less than a week after Biss tapped the rookie alderman as his pick for lieutenant governor. An investigation is underway after a man was found dead in northwest suburban Woodstock. Ryan Hansen's body was discovered Monday in a farm field off Charles Road. No foul play is suspected at this time. Governor Bruce Rauner is taking the state's sales pitch to China and Japan. Governor's office yesterday saying he'll begin an 8-day trip to the two countries this weekend, Tokyo being the first stop. Alex Avala's RBI triple in the top of the ninth gave the Cubs a 1-0 win over the Pirates at PNC Park, while the Indians captured their 14th straight win with a 5-1 victory over the White Sox. Adam Engels smacking a solo home run in the ninth for the Southsiders. Bears gearing up for Sunday's season opener against the Falcons. Roster news, Bears officially released linebacker Lamar Houston. Meantime, Kyle Long, Prince Amukamura, and Marcus Wheaton did not participate in practice yesterday. The news, a service of Napa Auto Parts. This month, Valvoline full synthetic motor oil is on sale for $5.59 a quart at any participating Napa Auto Parts store. Quality parts, helpful people, that's Napa know-how. General States prices do not include applicable state, local taxes, or recycling fees. 5:06, a check of traffic and weather on the way next on AM 560.
The biggest conservative event in Chicago is back. It's Freedom Summit 2017, and it's coming to the Westin Chicago Northwest in Itasca on Saturday, November 11th, and it's bigger than ever. This year, see best-selling author and filmmaker Dinesh D'Souza, along with Lieutenant Colonel Oliver North, Larry Elder, Joe Walsh, Dan Proft, Amy Jacobson, and many more. Tickets are on sale now at freedomsummitchicago.com. That's freedomsummitchicago.com. Sponsored in part by Automated Systems Incorporated.
Hi, I'm Jim McCann, chairman of 1-800-Flowers.com and co-founder of Smile Farms. With nearly 80% of adults with developmental disabilities being unemployed in the United States, we decided to try and do something about it. Smile Farms makes a positive impact on the lives of those with special needs by creating meaningful work experiences at local farms and greenhouses.
To find out how you can make a donation and change a life, visit smilefarms.org. That's smilefarms.org.
You're unique, so why is your mattress one size fits all? Because a custom mattress costs thousands, until now. Hi, I'm Christian von Rickenbach, founder of HelixSleep.com, where you can buy a mattress online, customized for you, for hundreds of dollars instead of thousands. Go to HelixSleep.com, answer a few simple questions, and we build you the most comfortable mattress you'll ever sleep on. Shipping is free, and you have 100 nights to try it out. Go to HelixSleep.com/talkradio and get $50 off your order. HelixSleep.com/talkradio.
It's not often you hear about a great career opportunity on the radio. A career opportunity perfect for ambitious, responsible, and mechanically inclined individuals truly looking for a long-term career opportunity. Unique Repair Service, headquartered in Chicagoland, is a well-established industry leader in factory-authorized appliance repair and a premier service provider for many of America's largest retailers. Unique is experiencing unprecedented growth and is looking to immediately hire a number of technician trainees to learn the business and grow in the company. Benefits include medical insurance, paid holidays and vacation, as well as company-provided vehicle, laptop, phone, and gas card. So if you, a loved one or friend, are mechanically inclined and would like information about a career opportunity with an industry leader, call Mike Avila today at 877-219-5960. That's Mike Avila of Unique Repair Service at 877-219-5960. Unique Repair Service is an equal opportunity employer and proud supporter of AM 560's charity golf outing for the 100 Club of Chicago.
5:09. Let's get an update on the roads and the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center this morning. Here's Jim Telemonte. Good morning, Jim.
Good morning, Mike. And in East Chicago, Chicago Avenue remains closed in both directions from Kennedy to Vercelli after that explosion at the post office there. Expressways and tollways look pretty good. Overnight work has lifted on I-55. The earlier delays near Veterans Parkway are gone. Edens, Kennedy, fine. Same goes for the Eisenhower, the Stevenson, and the Rhine. No delays to report yet on the area tollways. We'll have concert traffic on Northerly Island tonight, baseball traffic on the south side, but also playoff baseball traffic in Kane County, where Cougars are home tonight, and in Gary, where the Railcats are home. Traffic, service of Staples. Staples has low prices on everything your kids need to head back to school with confidence. Get everything they need for less at Staples, and right now, composition books and 2-pocket poly folders are just 50 cents. While supplies last, limit 30 in store, 10 online. Ends 9/9. Staples, it's pro time. Traffic answers when you need them most. I'm Jim Talamonte on AM 560, The Answer.
Chicago's Morning Answers starts next. Your official Chicagoland weather forecast with our meteorologist, Kevin Snyder.
Today, cool with periods of clouds and sun. An afternoon shower in spots. High 68. Tonight, partly cloudy, low 53. Tomorrow, partly sunny and cool with a high 66. I'm Kevin Snyder on AM 560, The Answer.
Currently, we have 53 at O'Hare, 56 along the lakefront, 46 this morning in Aurora. Your next news update is at 5:30. Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy starts now on AM 560, The Answer.
Indulge in the specialties of over 20 restaurants at Gourmet on the Green, a fun family event on Thursday, September 14th from 5:30 to 7:30 at Village Greens of Woodridge. Enjoy food, spirits, and gift card raffles. Tickets on sale now at chamber630.com.
When was the last time you thought about the HVAC system that works 24/7 to keep you comfortable and in business? One of the most important, yet overlooked aspects of life in the 21st century is reliable climate control for both people and product. It's one of the many things we take for granted. We'll be warm in the winter and cool in the summer. Then there's a failure or utility bill that's sky high. Avoid unpleasant surprises with your indoor comfort. For repairs and preventative maintenance on your commercial and industrial HVAC systems, call EHMS Mechanical Services. The equipment that maintains the environment you work in and supports the products you make is so important. When it fails, you'll need EHMS Mechanical Services, one of the fastest response commercial HVAC companies in Chicagoland. Help lower the overall cost of your HVAC equipment with comprehensive maintenance programs, energy-reducing retrofits, and rapid response service from EHMS Mechanical Services. Call 847-801-1000 or lovemyhvac.com.
This is Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan Proft and Amy Jacobson on AM 560. The Answer.
Good Thursday morning. Welcome to AM 560, The Answer. Amy Jacobson here. Dan Proft on his way. And while
Keep
he's...
the car under control and under 80 miles an hour, Mr. Proft. Yes.
Is it because of speeding again?
No, I'm just saying if he's just slightly late, go slow. We got it under control.
Okay.
No big deal. We don't want to roll in front of Mr. Judge with a phalanx of lawyers.
You know,
all
he got
of
out of that
Kirkland and
one.
Ellis in tow.
Do you know he got out of that one? How do you get out of going 120 miles per hour? Well, he got out of a felony, so it was a misdemeanor. But Dan will be joining us soon. And overnight, all eyes, I don't know about you, Mike, but half of my family is Puerto Rican, and I have relatives who live there. And I was
half of my family is not Puerto Rican.
I know they're not.
I know that.
Half of mine. And so, I've been trying to call Joseito, who lives in San Juan.
Right.
And phone lines power's down to almost 1 million people in Puerto Rico. And some cell phone towers are down.
Yeah, our friend Ana Balava, who works at Channel 9.
Yeah, she's Puerto Rican.
She is. They had her folks on yesterday. They're thankful. It stayed offshore. San Juan missed some devastation that St. Martin and some of the other islands, Barbuda, have taken on. Barbuda with a couple of deaths now so far. But
St. Martin,
Puerto Rico, not so bad yet.
Speaking of deaths, it's awful. 8 people died on the island of St. Martin. Yeah. And in Barbuda, a 2-year-old was killed when their family was trying to escape their damaged home during the storm. So Floridians need to heed the warning when they say that you need to either get out of the area, and if you're going to stay in your home, please board up your home and stay safe. Now, my relative in Puerto Rico, guess what he did? The lines were so long at Costco and at Walmart. He ordered water on Amazon. I'm not kidding. 2-day delivery and got the water yesterday.
Yeah.
But they canceled flights yesterday during the day, and one Chicagoan who's stuck there is Antonio Solar Nieves, and his mom's concerned.
The winds that we're experiencing right now are like nothing we had experienced before.
And there's others tourists. There's so many people that have a connection to Puerto Rico that are stuck there because they canceled all the flights, so they're hunkering down in ballrooms, in areas that are away from windows.
Yep.
The flooding is kind of amazing because the wind and rain are just bringing it through the sliding doors.
So, but the good news is the eye of the storm did not hit Puerto Rico directly.
Did not.
Thank goodness.
Sustained winds on Puerto Rico of between 55 and 65 miles an hour. Still problems for Puerto Rico, though, in areas of that island that were struck by the winds. The infrastructure is so dilapidated. And again, I mentioned this on the air a couple of days ago, previewing before the hurricane ever got there, and they've reinforced it again last night. Some areas in that island may be without power for 3 months because of the dilapidated infrastructure that is going to be torn down, even by 65-mile-an-hour winds.
Really?
Yeah.
So where's the path right now? Because I know the whole state of Florida is in a state of emergency. So is South Carolina. So is Georgia.
Sure.
Because it keeps changing. One time, you think it's going to the east, the west part of Florida. The other times going up the east.
It is a right turn as it crosses the very northern beaches of Cuba. It makes a direct right turn to Miami. And again, anywhere in that cone of activity. So imagine 50 miles to the Gulf side of Florida, 50 to 60 miles to the Atlantic side of Florida is your cone of where it might go. But they're guessing right now, heads straight through Miami, exits about 150 miles north of Miami, back out into the Atlantic, and now making a track for Charleston, South Carolina. As a Category 2, Category 3 storm. Remember, the waters, as you go further north in the Atlantic, not as cool, not as much energy there. So still a powerful, dangerous storm, but maybe not Category 4. When it makes landfall, again, a double or maybe a triple landfall for this hurricane.
And here's the Miami Beach mayor telling people like it is.
This is a nuclear hurricane. It looks like the path it's on is very, very scary. It is very, very serious. So we're getting that message out as aggressively as possible.
Yeah, and people need to start taking this seriously. I know that, everyone thinks they interviewed one lady yesterday, said, oh, well, I don't need to board up my windows because look at this glass. And she's hitting the glass. She said, this is strong. This is bulletproof glass. No, it's not. Nothing's truly bulletproof unless you bought bulletproof glass. So they need to board up their windows. And there's long gas lines already in southern Florida. And I don't know. I mean, here's the thing. It's going to be devastating either way, and there's going to be some damage. But since President Trump donated $1 million to the Hurricane Harvey victims, don't you think he needs to do the same to the Puerto Ricans, to those that live in the U.S. Virgin Islands, St. Thomas, St. Croix, St. John? I mean, we don't know about the damage done there yet, but he set a precedent for now on in his presidency, whether it's 4 years or 8 years. But ever since there's going to be a disaster, he's going to have to pony up some cash.
Yeah,
and then he'll look insensitive, or it's a certain group of people that he doesn't want to help.
Sure.
312-642-5600 is our Turnkey.pro answer line. 64636, type in DA. That's our Turnkey.pro text line. Because it's true. You know it's true. Because there's the Hispanics in Puerto Rico, in San Croix. If they need help and he doesn't help them, then that group is going to come after him, saying that he's insensitive and that he doesn't care.
I think the political measurements that are taken following Harvey are going to be very difficult to replicate, because we also have, trailing up Irma, we've got Jose, now a Category 3 storm, and it is growing in power and in size, and is following almost the exact track that Irma is taking right now. And again, a lot to be considered. It's still 800 miles or so away from the Leeward Islands. And then Katia is also heading right southwest into just close to the Yucatan Peninsula of Mexico. So while bothersome, not as powerful as the other two storms, but Jose right now is bearing some serious watching.
United Airlines, American Airlines, Southwest, they're all stopping flights in and out of Florida late Friday evening. So if you were planning on going there this weekend, possibly for a wedding, the wedding probably will be canceled because you got to be safe.
Yeah, it's probably off. There's lots of things that are going to be canceled. The NFL's canceling the game.
Oh, yeah, between Miami and Jacksonville, right?
Right.
The Jaguars.
And Miami, Tampa Bay, maybe.
Oh, yeah, you're right. Miami, the Bucs.
They were thinking about sending it to Jacksonville. I think they're going to do it during the Week 11 bye week now. But that's not it. There's college football. There's lots of high school games. There's things shut down for the entire peninsula of Florida, not just the very tip in Miami. They'll wash out everything all the way north to Jacksonville and into the Panhandle. So it's pretty much a washout. They'll start evacuating. My friend Amy Sweezy, who does weather in Orlando, says if things remain powerful, they'll start to move Disney employees to safety soon. They'll start that. It's not an evacuation. They'll move people to safety and away from some parts of the park.
312-642-5600 is our Turnkey.pro answer line. Let's take Jim, who joins us from Joliet this morning. Good morning, Jim.
Good morning, Amy. And by the way, all good wishes to your family down there in Puerto Rico.
Thank you. They ordered water through Amazon. What could go wrong?
Oh, right.
Apparently nothing. It got there.
Yeah, nothing. And speaking of Puerto Rico, I think Congressman Gutierrez should be making $1 million.
Oh, that's right. Because his parents are from San Sebastian. It was the same town that our family's from. Well, the family I married into. And that's a really tiny town. Oh, Luis and I have talked about that because our families know each other because of the homeland.
Oh, no kidding.
Yeah, so you know what? That's a great idea.
Yeah, ring him up. And if he starts jumping on Trump, well, hey, man. These are your peeps. I mean, if you can't come up with a mill,
It's good. I'm on it because, San Sebastian is a very small town. I think they don't have any stoplights or, not a lot of infrastructure in that tiny little village. So good idea. Thanks, Jim.
Connect with Dan and Amy on the AM 560 The Answer mobile app. Just text the word app to 64636 to download the app today.
Forecast for today, it's going to be cool again. Who's turned on their heat, huh? This morning I thought about it, but I said, no, I have to wait until October. It's only going to be a high of 68 degrees, 54 degrees right now at O'Hare. And then tonight, partly cloudy, low of 53. Out in the suburbs, you're going to go into the 40s. And for tomorrow, Friday already, partly sunny, cool again, a high of just 66 degrees. Now let's get into our alarm detection systems traffic center. Anybody being pulled over on the highway? Here's Jim Telemonte.
Good morning, Amy. Good morning, Mike. As we look at the Kennedy Expressway right now, it's all clear in both directions. The Adams Tollway as well. No delays or obstacles to report at the moment. The Edens is fine. Same goes for the Eisenhower. Inbound Stevenson, a little heavy between Ashland and the Ryan. On the inbound Ryan, it's a little heavy approaching downtown. I-57, 20 minutes. I-80 to the merge, Bishopfort 18. The tollways are looking good. In East Chicago, there's a closure of Chicago Avenue between Kennedy and Griselli after the explosion yesterday at the East Chicago Post Office. And Mike Scott will have all the latest on that coming up. I'm Jim Talamonte in the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center.
Hey, would you buy a house without looking inside? Well, of course not. Shouldn't you be just as diligent when choosing a financial advisor? Hey, it's Sean Hannity here, and just as a house is more than four walls, well, a financial advisor is more than just a nice office. What's their background? Do they work in your best interest as a fiduciary? What's their financial specialty? You want to know all these things because the chances are, over your lifetime, you're going to trust them with far more than the value of your home, because knowledge and experience count for a lot in retirement income planning. Here in Chicago, you need to know Anthony and Michael Pellegrino and their team at Goldstone Financial Group. Call them now, 800-620-9697. That's 800-620-9697. Don't be cavalier with what you have spent a lifetime building. Call Goldstone Financial Group, 800-620-9697.
Investment advisory services offered through Goldstone Financial Group, LLC, an SEC-registered investment advisor.
If you have a new or existing business, understanding building and zoning codes, obtaining permits, licenses, and inspections can be a time-consuming nightmare. Well, I got a guy. I should say a fine company. Premier Consulting Group, and my friend Bill Gritsonis is the company to call. From city and suburban retail business to residential and high-rise building permits, PCG holds your hand from the beginning to the very end. Bill and his veteran team have decades of experience and a commitment to meeting client needs. Your business will benefit from expedited permits and the peace of mind knowing that your business is in complete compliance. So I highly suggest you call my guy, Bill Gritsonis, and his team at Premier Consulting Group before your next project. Call Bill Gritsonis at 312-263-4599 or visit PCGconsultinginc.com. That number, 312-263-4599, or online at PCGconsultinginc.com. Call Bill Gritsonis at 312-263-4599 or visit PCGconsultinginc.com.
You are about to hear from Dr. Douglas Howard.
After 20 years and tens of thousands of success stories, Balance of Nature is still the only pure whole food supplement available. Balance of Nature has served more than 500 million servings of fruits and vegetables. Don't accept imitations, copies, or substitutions. Our success stories are unique to Balance of Nature's fruits and veggies. You'll know you have the real thing when you open the bottles and see, smell, and taste real produce.
It is worth every penny I pay because they really have made such a difference in my life. It is making me feel a whole lot better.
Even my doctor thought it was a good product.
Good health is only a phone call away. What are you waiting for? Don't miss your opportunity to get a free month supply of Balance of Nature. Call 1-800-2468-751. That's 1-800-2468-751. Or go online to balanceofnature.com.
Use promo code Chicago.
AM 560, The Answer.
All eyes on Hurricane Irma as it is slowly approaching the United States, the great state of Florida. And I told you about the Miami Beach mayor, Philip Levine, who gave out this warning to the fine folks there.
This is a nuclear hurricane. It looks like the path it's on is very, very scary. It is very, very serious. So we're getting that message out as aggressively as possible.
And another message that is being sent out is by the Polk County, Florida Sheriff. Have you heard this? He's warning sex offenders and predators, if you go to a shelter for Irma and you have a warrant, we'll gladly escort you to the safe and secure shelter called the Polk County Jail. So people that are going into these shelters are being checked. They're going to try to get some identification if anybody has them on them.
Right.
But also, if they see somebody that they think has a warrant out for their arrest, they'll fingerprint them. And they're warning sexual predators because there's a lot of kids running around in these shelters. no matter
There
where
are.
a shelter pops up, and they're not being watched the entire time because there's a lot of activity and a lot of people. And with that, sometimes there's some chaos and nefarious activity. So the Polk County Sheriff came out yesterday.
I think that's funny.
Great, isn't that
and what a
smart?
grand plan. You know, it's like those scams you see right before Christmas
Uh-huh.
where they send letters to your house that say, hey, you've won a prize. Come to this hotel at this room and we'll give you this prize of a 55-inch TV. And everybody walks in and there's a 55-inch TV there and 17 sheriff's deputies behind the wall who come out and say, surprise, you're going to jail.
That was great. But what else? We were talking during the break about what's going on in Florida.
The interesting thing about, and this is how we roll in the United States. When people need help, we move heaven and earth to help people. It is unique to this country to a certain extent, how we volunteer our time and our money and our effort. And stores do the same thing. They say, okay, people need help. We're going to move our backup supplies of things from this region to Texas because people in Corpus Christi still devastated from the hurricane. People in Houston still devastated from the flooding. Well, people in the regional supermarkets in Florida sent all of their backup stocks to Texas, and now they don't have anything to restock in Florida. So this morning, they're putting out signs that say, we're not sure when we're going to restock. We're not sure what we're going to have because we sent all of our backup supplies, our warehoused things to Texas to help with Harvey relief.
And speaking of helping, fellow Americans, JetBlue offering $99 flights.
Good for them.
Out of any city that they go to
Good
in
for them.
Florida. Because there's
waiving ticket fees, waiving everything.
Yeah,
they
well,
better.
there's some price gouging that was going on with
Sure.
other airlines, and JetBlue came in. I don't know if this is, an advertising gimmick for them, but they say, you know what, we'll get you out of there, $99.
Sure, I'd take it.
Wherever I would take it to. Would you stay in your house though?
No, I would not. I would evacuate my family and I would get out. We have friends in Jupiter, Florida, who are packing up and getting out, and I'd get out. I wouldn't.
We have friends in
I
Key
wouldn't
West
stay.
that left yesterday
Good.
afternoon, but the line to get out, it took them forever to get to Miami.
Yeah, the roads. We've seen some overhead shots of some of the traffic leaving south, heading north, and it's quite amazing. It's packed. It's moving. They're moving. They're going 20, 25 mile an hour. There's nothing. There are no stuck vehicles or lines that aren't moving, but it's moving slow.
And again, what day? It's supposed to hit Friday, Saturday morning.
Friday night into Saturday into Miami, and then it stays along that coast, the Atlantic coast, if the track is to be correct, from the National Hurricane Center, and then will make landfall again for, I guess we would say, a third time in Charleston, South Carolina.
Well, we'll definitely keep our eyes on it, and our prayers to all those people who are in the hurricane's path. Coming up on Chicago's Morning Answer, Trump strikes a deal with the Democrats, and did you see the embrace between Donald and Chuck? Oh, and don't forget Nancy. We'll have that story coming up. But first, let's go into the newsroom and say good morning once again to Mike Scott.
We're tracking our weather here in the greater Chicagoland area, 55 degrees. Skies are cloudy, winds west-northwest at 7. And more than 1 million Puerto Ricans have no electricity as Irma skirts the island on a track toward Florida. Officials with Puerto Rico's power generators say the island's dilapidated infrastructure will leave some areas without power for months. The biggest ever Category 5 storm still has sustained winds at 180 miles an hour, gusts of up to 220. That bill, packing $8 billion in Harvey disaster assistance, is on its way to the Senate after the House passed that bill on a 419-3 vote. One of those no votes came from Arizona Republican Andy Biggs, who objected to a last-minute addition providing funding for education programming in third world countries.
I'm like, we were supposed to get a clean bill on Harvey, and you don't have time to put in how we're going to pay for Harvey, yet at the same time you're able to somehow find a way to couple it with this other bill that we weren't told about.
Biggs also says if that is not bad enough, he's hearing when the bill gets to the Senate, a $1 trillion increase in the debt ceiling will be added on, which he says is a subject that should be considered separately. As Amy's talked about this morning, President Trump is bucking congressional Republican leaders and supporting a big Democratic funding plan. The proposal links Harvey disaster aid to a 3-month extension of government funding and a 3-month boost in the debt ceiling. Donald Trump Jr. scheduled to testify before the Senate Judiciary Committee about a 2016 meeting he had with a Russian lawyer. President's son met with the lawyer at Trump Tower, thinking that lawyer had dirt on then presidential candidate Hillary Clinton. The FBI continuing its investigation of an explosion at an East Chicago, Indiana post office.
It was actually inside. I cannot tell you exactly where, but it was inside, and we believe it was a package.
Fire Chief Francisco Mendez says one employee was hospitalized with minor injuries. Illinois among 15 states and the District of Columbia going to court to keep DACA. Illinois Attorney General Lisa Madigan yesterday filing suit to join a lawsuit led by New York's Attorney General. Illinois' opioid task force wants to cut the number of overdose deaths in the state by a third in 3 years. Lieutenant Governor Evelyn Sanguinetti yesterday saying it's an ambitious goal. The state's plan to cut the number of people who die from a drug overdose focuses on prevention and getting a handle on the overprescription of opioid pain pills that can lead to an addiction problem. Cubs over the Pirates 1-0, while the Indians capture their 14th straight win with a 5-1 win over the White Sox. The news service of Napa Auto Parts this month at participating Napa Auto Parts stores. When you purchase a set of Napa brakes and rotors, you get up to a $50 discount code toward your favorite fan gear from Fanatics.com. Quality parts, helpful people, that's Napa know-how. 5:34 and a check of traffic and weather on the way next on AM 560.
Mike Gallagher says it's not time to play politics.
I run away from the politicizing of natural disasters. I hate political gamesmanship that people engage in. This is not a time for that. Right now, the people of Texas need our help, need our prayers, and we don't need to point any fingers of blame.
The Mike Gallagher Show, weekdays at 9, right before Dennis Prager at 11 on AM 560. The Answer.
Cabela's hunting sale is finally here. Come in and find great deals on the latest hunting gear and apparel. Shop in-store and at Cabela's.com.
Discover Westmont, a community nestled in the heart of DuPage County. With top-notch schools, beautiful affordable housing, and excellent dining and shopping, Westmont makes a great place to live, work, and play. Choose Westmont. Discover how your business can flourish and grow with a wonderful central location providing rapid access to Chicago's key expressways, airports, and many family-friendly amenities. Add quick transportation on the Burlington train line, and that means simple and easy travel for everyone. Westmont is committed to working collaboratively with you to facilitate inquiries about your family or business relocation. We'll help your company navigate to Westmont for a great experience. Call Larry Forsberg at Westmont Economic Development at 630-824-9337. That's 630-824-9337 to find out about incentives that can help you plan your development, relocation, or expansion. Discover all Westmont has to offer. For more information, visit ChooseWestmont.com. That's ChooseWestmont.com.
Hi, I'm Jay Farner, CEO of Quicken Loans. Every day people ask me, Jay, did I miss out? Have the rates gone up? The answer is no. Rates are still low, and it's a perfect time to refinance your home, especially if your mortgage rate is higher than 4.25%. If you'd like to lower your interest rate and save thousands of dollars in interest without starting over on a new 30-year loan, a Quicken Loans Yorgage is what you're looking for. With our exclusive Yorgage, you can choose a term that works best for you, anywhere from 8 to 30 years. The rate today on an 8-year Yorgage is 3.25%, APR 3.75%. For 7 years in a row now, J.D. Power has ranked Quicken Loans highest in the nation for customer satisfaction for primary mortgage origination. And for the 4th year in a row, they've also ranked us highest in the nation for mortgage servicing. Call us today at 800-QUICKEN or go to QuickenLoans.com. That's 800-QUICKEN.
For J.D. Power award information, visit jdpower.com. Call for cost information and conditions. Equal housing lender. Licensed in all 50 states. NMLSConsumerAccess.org, number 3030.
It's 5:36. Let's get an update on the roads in the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center. And here's Jim Talamonte.
Thanks, Mike. On the inbound Eisenhower, we're seeing traffic starting to bunch up just a bit east of Mannheim. It's 30 minutes from Thorndale to downtown. Outbound fine at 29. No delays to report yet on the Edens from Kennedy. John Stevenson, slow Harlem to Kedzie and Ashland to Ryan. 38 minutes, 355 to Lakeshore Drive outbound 5 to 34. Ryan, 17 minutes, 95th to downtown, I-57. Bishop Ford, both 20 minutes, I-80 to the merge. Lakeshore Drive is fine. Southbound Tri-State, some road work from the Bensonville Bridge to North Avenue. Left lane is closed till 6. Otherwise, the tollways are fine. Northwest Indiana looks good. And traffic, it's a service of Staples. Staples has low prices on everything your kids need to head back to school with confidence. Get everything they need for less at Staples. And right now, composition books and 2-pocket poly folders are just 50 cents. While supplies last, limit 30 in-store, 10 online. Ends 9/9. Staples, it's pro time. Traffic answers when you need them most. I'm Jim Talamonte on AM 560, The Answer.
Jim, thank you. Chicago's Morning Answer continues next. Your official Chicagoland weather forecast. Another cool day ahead. Clouds and sun. We'll see an afternoon shower in spots at a high of 68, partly cloudy and 53 overnight. Partly sunny and cool, high 66 tomorrow. 54 at O'Hare, 56 along the lakefront. This morning in Aurora, you'll need the jacket. It's 46. Your next news update is at 6. Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy continues next on AM 560, The Answer.
This hourly segment is brought to you by Real Estate Revealed with Randy Barcella. Heard each and every Saturday beginning at 6 p.m.
Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy continues now. And make sure to stay tuned to catch me, Mike Gallagher, coming up at 9, only on AM 560, The Answer.
Good morning, Dan and Amy. Sorry I was late. I felt it was my duty as a patriotic Chicagoan to stop by WGN and have a little bit of a session with Tom Skilling with all this storming,
Oh, right.
all this weather.
Oh, because they're blaming it on global warming, you know.
Well, no, but he gets very emotional about weather.
Oh, that's right.
About weather events, about the movement of celestial bodies. And so I just wanted to say, hey, Tom, you know.
Did you coddle him?
We're
or just
there
give
for
him a little
you.
noogie?
We're there for you, buddy. These are emotional times, but we're there for you.
He's an emotional guy.
We've been told people start sobbing. For some, it's just a life-changing event. And we may start doing that, too. But I'll get my act together, guys. And I'll be back to you, I promise you. Guys, back to Chicago. Sorry about this.
This shoulder is always here for you, Tom. And I wanted him to know that.
He's never going to live that down. But the people in the crowd in the background, too, they were laughing like, oh, that's cute. Oh, he really is crying. Oh.
No,
Nervous pause.
No, I'm embarrassed for him. All right, well, let's do a little local politics. I know you were going through the potential impact of Irma, the impact that's already been felt by Irma, and the potential as it makes landfall in South Florida. But locally, there's some stories that are worth noting. You know, we've got this governor's race that's building.
Yes.
And the guy spending all the money at present is not the, multi-cajillionaire in office. It's the billionaire who's seeking the office, J.B. Pritzker. Spalding.
No, you call him Spalding. I call him No Neck. Is that mean? Is that catty of me to call it like I see it?
It's descriptive.
I'm just looking for the neck.
He looks like he swallowed. He looks like he swallowed Jason Duffner.
He does.
So this story from the Tribune yesterday. Pay to play politics. JB. That's 2. JB. J.B. Pritzker, fall 2006, raising money to build a Holocaust museum in North Suburban Chicago. Okay,
that's nice.
Governor Rod Blagojevich was raising money for his reelection campaign. Each had what the other had wanted, according to the Chicago Tribune's report. Pritzker and his wife gave $100,000 in campaign contributions to friends of Blagojevich. 4 days later, a week before the election, Blagojevich announced he was giving $1 million of our money, state grant, to support construction of the Illinois Holocaust Museum and Education Center in Skokie. Pritzker was the museum's chief fundraiser. Asked if there was a connection between a $100,000 campaign contribution and a state grant, Pritzker said he, quote, he didn't, quote, recall specifically, unquote, either the contribution or the grant.
Oh,
I mean,
okay.
you throw $100,000 contributions around.
You're definitely going to get some type of holiday card if you give somebody $100,000.
I think the holiday cards Blagojevich can send from prison are limited. But $100,000, you forget. $1 million in state money for your museum and education center, you forget. I'm very proud, and then he does what you would expect him to do. What's the real spin on this? To talk about the project rather than how I finance it, because it's a laudable project, of course. And so I'm very proud of the work I've done in the Holocaust Museum and so on and so forth. And the Holocaust Museum and Education Center, that's great, fine. And that he was raising money for it, even if it was mostly driven by personal political ambition. But even if it wasn't, even if it was, I should say, but let's assume it wasn't. Great. Good for you. Congratulations.
He's a philanthropist. He can donate his money where he wants to.
That's right. But the ends don't justify the means. And this is just another form of pay-to-play politics. I give you campaign cash. You give me state money in the form that I want it. That's a problem. Even if the ends, the Holocaust Museum, are laudable, that's a problem, isn't it? 312-642-5600, turnkey.pro answer line, 64636DA, turnkey.pro text line.
Is it illegal?
You don't have to shake down. You don't have to shake down J.B. Pritzker. He's more than happy to play the game. And this is somebody who's going to run, as there's some indication already, even though he's buying up all the Chicago Democrat establishment.
Buying up all the unions.
He's gonna run as he's gonna do some facsimile of what Ronner did in 2014. I'm the outsider who's gonna come in and get things done to turn around Illinois and blah 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 blah. The line that you've heard from politicians for the last 50 years. How's it working, Illinois? So is it illegal?
Yeah. Is this illegal, or is this just a coincidence?
The line between it's just politics versus it's illegal is a bit blurry in this state, and particularly in the city. But if you say, I will give you money, campaign cash we're talking about, I will make a political donation, you give me state funds, that is illegal. Again,
I wonder where that conversation happened and how it happened.
Well, there was
any recording of it.
You had recordings of J.B. Pritzker talking to Blagojevich about the Senate seat.
Yeah.
So, wherever it happened, and J.B. Pritzker can't remember it, any part of it. But I think it's worth noting that this guy, in addition to his using his power and leverage to get special property tax treatment, really to scam the property tax system with his, multi-million-dollar mansion in the city, combined with this, take a hard look at J.B. Pritzker and, frankly, the rest of the Democrats. And you, if you want revolution in this state, you really think it's going to come from one of these guys? You think it's going to come from J.B. Pritzker or Chris Kennedy, the scions of, in the Pritzker case mainly, but in the Kennedy case totally, long-time staid establishment, Democrat, pay-to-play political families? Speaking of pay-to-play political families and illegality, Jesse Jackson Jr.
I thought we weren't going to talk about this.
Sure we are. Jesse Jackson Jr.
Getting a little ugly over there, huh? At home?
Sandy Jackson, former alderman. Former congressman, a power couple. Weren't they fantastic? We, in this state...
People talked of them becoming the president.
Yeah.
Back then. And what a great first lady she would be.
How'd that go? We in the state seem to enjoy very much. By the way, we're still enjoying Jesse Jr. In terms of financing him. He gets like $140,000 a year in workers' comp.
Yeah.
Taxpayer money. Well done. 2nd Congressional District. They're in this bitter divorce, right? Because the dreams of Camelot have been dashed. And so it's getting a little ugly, which is fantastic.
This is why you settle out of court and you get a mediator. But okay, they decided to go the public route.
Sandy Jackson wants to subpoena television reporter Tamron Hall. Oh, Tamron Hall, one of MSNBC's finest. Wants to subpoena Tamron Hall, who was in Fox Chicago here for a long time, as well as a Harvey strip club owner, a former restaurant hostess, and bikini model Jackson has described as a social acquaintance. And
who's your bikini model friend, Dan?
And Jackson Jr.'s father.
Yeah.
Among 12 people she says have knowledge about how the disgraced couple's marriage fell apart. Gee, I wonder what knowledge Tamron Hall and a Harvey strip club owner would have about the Jackson's marriage, Amy. Could you hazard a guess for us?
I don't recall that time in my life.
Yeah. Oh, the J.B.
I don't
Pritzker
remember.
defense.
I mean,
Yeah.
maybe.
You were raising money for a worthy project at the
Let
time.
me tell you about the good work we were doing at NBC at the
Exactly.
time. Yes.
Yeah.
No, there's been rumors of that for,
I'm sorry, rumors of
no,
what's,
that he
what's
goes to
that?
strip clubs.
Does he go to strip clubs with Tamron Hall?
I don't know. But Illinois is a no-fault state, so why is she doing this? It doesn't matter. He could have
Oh, why is she doing
1,000 girls on the side. It does not matter.
Why is
As
she-
long as he's not having sex in front of the kids with other women, then he could do what he wants.
Why is she doing this? Because she can. Because she wants to. That's why.
So ugly.
So
ugly.
I'm sorry.
They have 2 children. They got to think of their kids before they air their dirty laundry out, which has already been aired because now it's out there.
I'm sorry. Did we close out the Tamron Hall matter?
I'm sorry. I didn't hear. This is not working. Sorry, this headset's broken. Keith, I need a new headset.
Tamron Hall. You see her on. She's on the Today Show and stuff.
No, she left there now.
Oh,
now
well.
she works for Discovery Channel.
Oh, that's right. But I mean, you remember her on the Today Show and MSNBC. She was a big shot who.
Yeah, and she got mad because Megyn Kelly came, so she stomped off the set and
it was
had her own gig on
heroic
Discovery.
after she was kicking around at Fox Chicago for so long. Such a great story. What's this part of the story?
Yeah, what else?
Tamron Hall subpoenaed. I'm trying to piece it together. I'm doing my Columbo impersonation.
Maybe he confided in
this.
her.
I don't understand.
Maybe he confided in her about his marriage.
What do you really think? Is that what you really think?
I'm not going to say anything. I don't want to be subpoenaed.
That's a no. Robert in Oak Brook.
Yeah, I'm just trying to figure out where common sense left everybody's brain. Why would a billionaire want to become governor?
Because they want more power.
Yeah, I mean, this is complicated, Robert. Why would somebody who is rich and so doesn't have to worry about money want to go into politics? Wanted to go into the game?
It would be called Friends.
Friends?
Give kickouts to all your friends.
Oh,
Take our
well,
money
that's part
and
of it.
give it to their friends, so they can buy Ferraris and Maseratis and bigger houses in the Cayman Islands or something.
Thanks
Doesn't make any sense to me.
Thanks for the call, Robert. I would say there's 2 things to that. One, yeah, you could be just a distribute the spoils of war politician, and you can be rich and do that too, or you could not be rich and do that. We've seen both iterations, but a lot of this too, when you see self-funders run for office, what is it really? I mean, they may end up in that way, but that's not why they're doing it. Why are they doing it? It's epitaph stuff, my friend. It's about their personal legacy. It's about I had governor. I enjoyed the title of governor for a time in my life after I'd been very successful in business or inherited a bunch of money in the case of J.B. Pritzker, whatever. I did something. I was somebody. I was a governor. You know, money doesn't fill the hole of self-identity for a lot of people. And you see a lot of them in politics.
You're listening to Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan Proft and Amy Jacobson on AM 560. The Answer.
Roof is needy?
Call Crumweedy.
Roof is leaky?
Call Crumweedy.
Shingles are curly?
Call Crumweedy.
Roof isn't right after it's stormy?
Call Crumweedy.
Here comes winter. Well, soon. This is Mark Olson.
And Greg Olson of Crumweedy.
A third-generation family business.
We're conservative just like you.
We've been doing Chicagoland roofs since 1953.
Really good roofs.
The difference is installation.
Hey, we know that. That's why we follow the manufacturer specifications, so your warranty is totally intact.
A lot of companies don't do that, and that could void your warranty.
Hate the high pressure?
Not from us.
We give you multiple options. Then you choose.
A roof that lasts at a fair price.
We fix roof problems.
When your roof is needy,
Call Crumweedy.
We say call. How about the number?
630-595-8020. 630-595-8020.
myroofisneedy.com. Hey, do it now. Get it done before the winter comes.
Crumweedy. We fix roof problems.
Upstream-ideas.com, premium content that complements what we do on the show. Our digital platform with original content in the form of long-form interviews in our Against the Current series. This week still featuring Charles Thomas and Maze Jackson, the WVON morning team. We talk race and politics. Our new series, Heart of the Matter, which is professional women speaking colleague to colleague about the issues of the day and their impact on household budgets. My 60 Seconds of Sanity commentaries. 2-minute warnings about bad actors in public office, present or future, from Pat Hughes at the Illinois Opportunity Project. Podcast for Illinois Rising program covering state policy and politics, as well as our Man on the Street Follow the Logic segment this week, seeing if folks can follow Governor Rauner's logic on signing sanctuary state legislation. You can get it all at upstream-ideas.com.
If you're aged 59 and a half or older with the 401k plan and still working, stop what you're doing and call Arlington Capital Management at 855-471-5796. They'll help you actively manage your 401k, show you strategies to avoid major declines, and capitalize on opportunities. There are benefits with age, and this is one of them. At 59 and a half, you're entitled to new opportunities in the investment world that can dramatically improve your results and even lower your fees. Call 855-471-5796 now and take the first step toward getting more out of your retirement assets. The team at Arlington Capital Management proactively explores the market, our economy, and all of the variables that offset your investments. Call 855-471-5796 now for a complimentary consultation. That's 855-471-5796 or visit arlington-capital.com. You worked hard to accumulate your nest egg. Now, it's time to put your money to work for you.
The war on depression is over.
You win.
Depression, with all the drugs and side effects, the endless counseling, the frustration with life and relationships.
The war is over. You win.
In a few short weeks, your life will change.
It's TMS therapy.
Over 1 million people have been treated, and the results are nothing short of outstanding. It's FDA cleared. It's covered by most insurance, including Blue Cross Blue Shield and Medicare.
Most drugs and other treatments just mask the depression.
TMS treats the cause, so you can win the war with your depression. Remission or cure.
Depression gone.
Get a free consultation at one of the HPR centers in Chicagoland and Wisconsin. Ask questions.
For you or someone you love, safe, revolutionary, effective treatment for depression.
Let depression recovery begin. HPR centers.
800-604-0208. 800-604-0208.
Go to endmydepression.com.
There's a place where you can get custom metal products. If you manage a commercial kitchen, hotel, condo building, or food-grade manufacturing plant, then no matter the type of metal or size of the project, the skillfully trained fabrication team at Vans Industrial has you covered.
Hi, I'm Dave Van Camp, president of Vans Industrial. Custom metal fabrication is the backbone of my company. We fabricate stainless steel countertops, wall coverings, hoods, landscape planter boxes, industrial fan housings, and more. Vans Industrial uses all types of alloys like carbon steel, aluminum, brass, and polished stainless steel. And we have a laser cutting machine. Our laser can customize almost any project. Our team can design, fabricate, and install your project today.
Call 219-931-4881 today for a free inspection of your facility. Interested in what else they do? Visit vansindustrial.com. That's VANS industrial.com. Vans Industrial, customizing for you, the customer.
The founder of Black Lives Matter said white racist hate speech is not free speech.
The Joe Walsh Show.
Again, somebody stupid on the left, not understanding our Constitution, not understanding the First Amendment. Hate speech is protected.
The Joe Walsh Show. Weeknights starting at 5. Right after Sean Hannity at 2 on AM 560. The Answer.
5:56. Let's get an update on the roads this early morning. The Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center with Jim Talamonte.
Thanks, Mike. In downtown Chicago, we're seeing delays on the inbound Kennedy. From the Hubbard Street Tunnel to Jackson, crash there. It just happened. 3 right lanes are blocked. At the moment, it's just a 3 or 4 minute delay. Look for it to grow. The outbound side is fine. The Eden's all clear. Inbound Eisenhower heavy from Wolf to 9th Avenue. 32 minutes, Thorndale to downtown. Outbound 30. Inbound Stevenson now looking at 45 minutes from 355 to Lakeshore Drive. Outbound 35. Ryan, 18 minutes, 95th to downtown. I-57, 21 minutes, I-80 to the Murray. Bishop Ford, 24. Northbound Tri-State heavy from the Reagan tollway to the Eisenhower. The other tollways are fine. No delays to report on I-80 or in northwest Indiana. The traffic is a service of Staples with free next-day delivery from Staples. You can run your business like a pro. Go to staples.com for the office essentials you need delivered next day free on eligible items only and orders over $49.99, placed by 5 p.m. Excludes weekends and holidays. Staples, it's pro time. Traffic answers when you need them most. I'm Jim Talamonte on AM 560, The Answer.
Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy continues after Fox News and a full update and your official Chicagoland weather forecast. That comes from our meteorologist, Kevin Snyder.
Sun and clouds for the day with a shower in spots, high 65, then a partly cloudy night, low 52. Clouds and sunny again tomorrow with a shower in spots in the afternoon, high 68. Partly cloudy at night, low 54. Then Friday, partly sunny, high 68. I'm Kevin Snyder on AM 560, The Answer.
Currently, it is 53 degrees at O'Hare, 56 along the lakefront, and 46 in Aurora. At 5:58, here are the stories we are following on AM 560, The Answer. More than 1 million Puerto Ricans have no electricity as Hurricane Irma skirts the island on a track toward Florida. Fox with the latest on Irma this morning and what track it will be taking toward the United States. Chicago City Council is going on record as calling for a state law to replace what's being termed the DACA program and its protection of young illegal immigrants. Illinois is among 15 states and the District of Columbia that is now going to go to court to try and keep the DACA program alive. A bench trial is underway to determine the fate of a disgraced former Chicago priest, Daniel McCormack, who pleaded guilty in 2007 of molesting 5 children and has spent the last 8 years at a downstate mental health facility for sex offenders. The news service of Verizon, you have places to be, and the side of the road is not one of them. With 24/7 emergency and roadside assistance, a certified mechanics hotline, and more. Get where you're going. Learn more at hum.com. WIND Chicago News Time is 6 o'clock.
Irma has left a trail of destruction already. I'm Dave Anthony, Fox News.
It is just a total devastation. I mean, Barbuda right now is literally a rubble.
Gaston Brown is the Prime Minister of Barbuda and says nearly every building is damaged by the hurricane. A 2-year-old was killed. At least 9 others are dead amid the destruction on other Caribbean islands. There's damage on Puerto Rico, too. Turks and Caicos and the Bahamas are next in line for Hurricane Irma's wrath.
Once it gets to South Florida, that's where we get a few question marks. Will it go across the state of Florida? Will it curve and hug the state of Florida and perhaps make a landfall across the southeast?
Fox meteorologist Janice Dean, people are prepping in Georgia and the Carolinas now, joining those in Florida. Some there have been ordered to evacuate.
I've said many times, and I can't say it enough, please only take what you need, whether it's water, food, or fuel.
Governor Rick Scott, gas shortages persist. People cheered at a station a little while ago in Miami Beach that just got a new supply. They'd been lined up waiting since 2 a.m. The House has approved disaster aid for Hurricane Harvey. That led to a compromise that surprised Republicans. Fox's Rachel Sutherland live in Washington.
Dave, President Trump cut a deal with Democrats to raise the federal borrowing limit and fund the government through the first week of December. He told reporters aboard Air Force One.
We agreed to a 3-month extension on debt ceiling, which they consider to be sacred, very important. Always will agree on debt ceiling.
The House approved $8 billion relief package now heads to the Senate. GOP leaders and Treasury Secretary Steven Mnuchin wanted a much longer extension to the debt limit, in part to prevent a second vote before the 2018 congressional elections. Dave?
Rachel, President Trump hopes this clears the way for tax reform.
Our painful tax system has become a massive barrier to America's economic comeback.
The president in North Dakota yesterday, though the debt and spending issue will loom again in December if the tax reform legislation is still being debated at the time. Fox News, fair and balanced.
For 22 years, he served his country in the United States Marine Corps, including a tour of duty in Vietnam. He earned 2 Purple Hearts, a Bronze Star, and a Silver Star. And this year, on Veterans Day, retired Lieutenant Colonel Oliver North is coming to Chicago for Freedom Summit 2017, November 11th at the Westin Chicago Northwest. See Oliver North, Dinesh D'Souza, Larry Elder, and many more. Get your tickets at freedomsummitchicago.com. That's freedomsummitchicago.com. Sponsored in part by Joe Cotton Ford.
All money managers may seem pretty much the same. But while some money managers may recommend high commission investment products, Fisher Investments avoids them. Some money managers may have hidden and layered fees. Fisher Investments never does. And while some money managers are happy to earn commissions from you, whether you do well or not, Fisher Investments fees are structured so we do better when you do better. In other words, we're structured to be on your side. Maybe that's why most of our clients come to us from other money managers. Talk with us and find out why so many experienced investors are switching to and staying with Fisher Investments. Fisher Investments, clearly better money management. Investments in securities involve the risk of loss. Visit us at FisherInvestments.com to find out what we can do for you.
Hey, you've heard how Automated Systems excels at assisting companies with systems integration and FDA compliance. But they're also a staffing leader. They supply handpicked elite leadership, subject matter experts, and proven technical professionals in engineering, quality control, and FDA compliance to support the life sciences field in executing mission-critical projects. ASI provides highly specialized pros to deliver projects on time and budget. Don't pay a lot more to a big consulting firm, and don't trust the big temp agencies to supply the talent you need. Call Laz, my friend Laz at Automated Systems, when failure isn't an option. ASI is retained by all of Chicagoland's Fortune 500 life sciences companies, from big pharma to startups, and excel through a culture of excellence in execution. For a staffing, compliance, or automation evaluation, call Laz now at Automated Systems at 844-HIRE-ASI or visit AutomatedSYS.com. That's 844-HIRE-ASI or AutomatedSYS.com.
Indulge in the specialties of over 20 restaurants at Gourmet on the Green, a fun family event on Thursday, September 14th from 5:30 to 7:30 at Village Greens of Woodridge. Enjoy food, spirits, and gift card raffles. Tickets on sale now at chamber630.com.
This is Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan Proft and Amy Jacobson on AM 560. The Answer.
Good morning, Dan and Amy. So, Trump acting in a bipartisan fashion, do you find that encouraging? On the debt ceiling and the issue really of the week on DACA. On Air Force One yesterday, President Trump had this to say about DACA and what he essentially intimating what he would like to see happen during this 6-month period Congress has to fix the matter.
Chuck and Nancy would like to see something happen, and so do I. And I said, if we can get something to happen, we're going to sign it, and we're going to make it. We're going to make a lot of happy people.
Chuck and Nancy.
Chuck
Boy,
and Nancy.
it's
I
real
mean,
chummy.
It's like Mike and Dan and Keith and Justin. Hey, why? Because they're all chummy now. Because yesterday, President Trump, he struck a deal with the Democrats.
Well, on DACA, he sort of indicated through Twitter that that's where he was going. But, I mean, this is part of this bipartisan consensus that's emerging. Now, it doesn't include some of the conservative backbenchers like Steve King, a Republican from Iowa, but it does seem to include the President of the United States, which is an important part of this. Do you agree with President Trump that he and Nancy and Chuck should get together and do something? And, oh, by the way, the actual leadership of Congress on the Republican side, the party that's in control, Paul Ryan and Mitch McConnell, also, at least Paul Ryan indicated support for doing something with respect to preserving DACA or preserving some permanent status for DACA beneficiaries. And that's where the president's at, 312-642-5600, turnkey.pro answer line, 64636DA, turnkey.pro text line.
this DACA deal that they're working on in Congress, if President Trump never really wanted it to go away, then why would he do this? I think this was a huge PR blunder because it got most of Americans upset that he'd be deporting 800,000 people that were here that were dreamers.
So
what was he doing that to get Congress to whip them into shape? Like, hey, you guys are going to deal with this issue right now. But he was pulling at the heartstrings of almost 1 million Americans and friends and family that are friends with those dreamers. It didn't bode well for the party. I mean, what is he doing? To me, that was a huge PR blunder.
Yeah. Well, I guess I'll cede my time to President Obama, who on June 15th of 2012, in the Rose Garden, announcing the program, had this to say.
Now, let's be clear. This is not amnesty. This is not immunity. This is not a path to citizenship. It's not a permanent fix. This is a temporary stopgap measure that lets us focus our resources wisely while giving a degree of relief and hope to talented, driven, patriotic young people.
And you know what? Shame on President Obama, because he lied to so many people, said he was going to do immigration reform within the first 90 days in office. When he had all the power, he did nothing.
Okay.
Nothing.
Well,
and you have to remind people
true.
of that, because they're going around saying Trump's racist and he's trying to kick people out. No, he's not. He wants to come up with a plan now with his new buddies, Chuck and Nancy, in order to keep dreamers here.
Yes. Well, here's the real thing. And this is why I go back again to say there's so much dishonesty about this discussion of immigration policy. It's tough to get to a sensible place because of the dishonesty, mostly coming from people who are advocating lawlessness, advocating special laws for special people based on their political value. President Obama, and I just played that clip, this is a temporary fix. It's a stopgap. Congress is going to need to act. Why did he say that? He said that because he knew what he was doing was unconstitutional with the DAPA program, and DACA is essentially the same principle at stake.
And DAPA is
the same
parents?
legal principle. Yes.
Okay.
And so that's why he said that. And DACA is not ended. Trump did not end DACA. Right. DACA is still in force. And now you have 6 months to act. So he has returned the legislative responsibility, to the legislature, to Congress. That's what's actually happened.
But then why didn't he just say that, though?
Amid all of the hysterics and the unbelievable statements by El Gaito, which there's still no accounting. I'm waiting for some Chicago press corps person other than us or D.C. press corps person to hold El Gaito, Luis Gutierrez, responsible for what he said about General Kelly and ask what they would do if this was a Republican. Ask every single Democrat, particularly Chicago Democrats, particularly Illinois Democrats, do you stand by what El Gaito said? Because that's what they do if it was a Republican who said something so outlandish as Gutierrez said, which is that General Kelly, a Gold Star father, is a disgrace to the uniform he used to wear. This guy, El Gaito, of all people weighing in on this is akin to our other Dick Durbin, our esteemed senior senator, nice job, Illinois, who compared U.S. troops to Nazis and Soviet commissars after the Abu Ghraib scandal. Remember that? You remember that? Did Dick Durbin get held accountable? Yeah, he had the tearful apology in the well of the Senate. Well, where's any accountability even to have to supplicate himself and pretend to have contrition like Durbin had to do? Where's that for Gutierrez? That's why we can't have an honest, sensible, rational, room temperature discussion on any of these issues, because the people that just traffic in isms and phobias and the people that hustle for political power by dividing people by race, like Gutierrez and so many others on the left, they pollute the entire environment.
2 Chicago aldermen got up there and said ending DACA is racist and the white supremacists in the White House needs to leave. Like, what are you? Doesn't end. But I keep letting them dig their hole, Dan.
Bill and Skokie, you're on Chicago's Morning Answer.
think it's good that Trump has turned this over to Congress. I think one effect this will have is this will force every Republican up for re-election in the midterms to talk about this and make their stance on it known. Basically, I think this is a way for Trump to get the rest of the Republican Party to heel. I think that was a shrewd move on his part, and it's good. And it's good that he's turned it over to the legislative body. I think that looks better. I'd also like.
Well, it's also consistent with the Constitution, which is a nice kicker too. Yeah.
Right. So there's been a hysterical reaction to this, but it's going to happen anyways. I forgot what I was going to say. Anyways, thanks, guys.
All right, thanks, Bill. Appreciate it. Michelle Malkin disagrees. Michelle Malkin opining, there is no such thing as a deserving dreamer.
That's not true.
Over and over again, in countless cookie-cutter op-ed pieces published over the past month, so-called dreamers have vociferously lamented Trump's push to eventually undo their unconstitutional 5-year reprieves from deportation plus coveted work permits. She cites what the quotes you hear. They don't deserve to be punished. They deserve protection. They deserve the American dream. Deserve, writes Malkin. I, me, my bills, my ego, my education, my job, my anxiety. Since when did DACA become the depression and anxiety cure for amnesty seekers? That also comports with the acronym. It's this insatiable appetite for collective entitlement that demonstrates the perils of blanket amnesty. Give a privileged political class an inch, and they'll take until feckless public servants give away their country. You agree with that?
No, you know what? A lot of DACA people, they've earned. Alejandro Durham Aurelio, med student at Loyola University, which, by the way, has more dreamers than any other program in the country.
The tremendous support that you just saw, our classmates, people who are very busy, people who have a lot of things to study, people who are in clinic, actually 3rd and 4th years, who made the time to come here to show their support for us.
Yeah, because they're here and they've proven themselves. She got a scholarship. She's in her 2nd year of med school. Mm-hmm. So she's not, give me. She is earning.
Really?
Well, the dreamers that break the law, Dan, they've been deported. There's 1,500 of them.
Oh,
and the ones that are here, that are in schools, that have families, that are working, that are paying taxes, I don't believe in kicking them out of this country.
I know, but you're just using anecdotes and emotional arguments.
No, this is a woman.
That's an anecdote. That's an anecdote.
That's a human being.
Yes.
Who's against what Michelle Malkin's article, which is they deserve, me. No, she's giving. She's earning her place in this society.
Yes, I'm sympathetic to the plight of people that were brought here, and they were lucky. They were lucky that they were raised in this culture, and they're lucky to be afforded the opportunities.
And they appreciate that.
It's nice that you're the spokesman for 800,000 Dreamers. But you're extrapolating from individual stories. Those 1,500 people that committed crimes that you said have been deported, those are humans too, and those are stories too, aren't they?
But there's thieves. And that's why they're thieves or Robert or DUI. We kick them out of the country.
No, I know. And those are stories and human beings too. So for every med student, I've got somebody who is deported, don't I? I don't know.
It's 1,500 out of 800,000.
How many med students are there?
They said they had the most medical students at Loyola. I don't know.
Right,
I will find out.
And here's something else because,
everybody stopped in their tracks yesterday to support her and other dreamers that are at Loyola Hospital.
I understand the si se puede moments. And, it's sophistry like this that forces people to be callous because you have to cut through all the nonsense. The other argument that's made, military, they're serving in our military. Yeah, some are. How many? 800,000. It's just 1,500 at 800,000. Well, there's one news report out yesterday that says it's 900 out of 800,000. Okay. And that's great for those 900 that are serving our country honorably. And every individual is important, and every human being is entitled to the same dignity that I am, and no life is more important than another life. All those statements of principle stipulated. Now we're talking about public policy and the rule of law. That's the discussion. It's not that there are not good people among the 800,000. Of course there are. I'll even stipulate that it's more likely than not that the overwhelming majority are good people. If you're a good person, you get to write your own laws. Is that what you believe? Yemi on the north side. You're on Chicago's Morning Answer.
Hey, good morning, Dan and Amy.
Good morning.
I am an immigrant from Nigeria, and I waited for 7 years to be able to come to the United States. So I feel like these kids, they've been here forever. I mean, let's just incorporate them into the society and, then continue their life.
Okay. All right. Thanks for the call, Yemi. I mean, I get it, and that's, I think, where the center of gravity on this issue is, what Yemi just said. But even if we provide some kind of deal, and even if we get border funding as part of this deal, this most sympathetic of people who are in this country with dubious legal status, let's put it that way, at least long term at present. Can we have the more fundamental conversation so we get off this merry-go-round of let's create another problem and then let's suspend the rule of law to provide a special deal for the people who are incentivized by the moral hazards created by government? I'm not blaming the young woman at Loyola med school or anybody else that's come here because of the perverse incentives that promulgated by our political class. That's the conversation. So getting into this competition, I've got a great story about a so-called dreamer, and you've got a bad story. Let's see who has the most good versus bad stories. That is not sensible.
No,
that gets us
not.
nowhere.
But what is sensible is to talk about the way that President Trump rolled this out, having Jeff Sessions come out saying that, the DREAM Act, DACA's over, when it wasn't over. It was still a discussion.
He didn't say it was over.
You can't enroll in the program. That's what's happened.
He was explicit about a orderly wind down of the program, which is consistent with giving Congress time to act. There was nothing wrong with how that was announced, and frankly, the Attorney General, in a lot of respects, I mean, yes, President Trump is the Commander in Chief. The Attorney General is the chief law enforcement officer of the country. So having him weigh in on a law enforcement issue, ultimately a border security issue, is hardly inappropriate. Plus, he also has a much stronger command of the Constitution as a former prosecutor himself than does President Trump or anybody else in the administration, which is why he's the chief law enforcement officer of the country. Simon in Lakeview, you're on Chicago's Morning Answer.
Hey, good morning, guys. I just wanted to, remind Amy or ask Amy, where did the money come from for these dreamers? Who paid for that money?
Paid for what? For her to go to medical school?
Yeah, these scholarships that they get.
Well, they don't all receive scholarships. Some take out student loans.
Where does the student loan money come from?
The government.
Right. That's Simon's point.
Where does the government get that money?
Yes, right.
My pocket.
Thanks for the call, Simon. Point made. Chuck in Delavan.
Hey, how you doing? Section 8, Article 4. Congress, and Congress alone, is in charge of all naturalization and immigration. So if you look to the Constitution, what the president's supposed to do, the Supreme Court's supposed to do, and what the Senate is supposed to do is all clearly in black and white. And you don't have to look no further than 2007 when Rahm Emanuel, the congressman, and Barack Obama, the senator, led the parade of 1 million people that blocked Chicago in 2007 for the May Day parade. They're pandering to a future voter base. And that's all this is about. Thank you very much.
Thanks, Chuck. Dennis in Villa Park.
Yeah, my question is that 5 years ago when this thing was pushed through by Obama, why haven't those dreamers tried to apply for citizenship in the last 5 years? They'd be citizens by now.
No, there was no path for them to do that because they had a special designation. Remember, you heard.
Well, they had a special designation, but
no.
Yes, they could have gone.
No, they could not. They could not have applied. They were precluded from applying for citizenship. You heard President Obama say, and he was right, and this was being litigated at the time, but don't forget, and enjoined by the Federal District Court and then the Fifth Circuit. President Obama. It was a stopgap. It was temporary. Congress had to act. So, no, they couldn't
So then
have.
that keeps them.
Thanks for the call, Dennis. Lewis in Dayton, Texas.
Good morning, guys. How you doing this morning?
Morning.
A lot of these guys they're blaming Trump for this, but these dreamers. But what I like to say is, unfortunately, they need to blame their parents. Their parents were the one that brought them there illegally, and this has nothing to do with Trump. He's trying to enforce the laws of this country. Amy, as you stated, there's a lot of bad apples within that group. Well, that is why Trump is doing what he's doing. We have certain laws in this country. We are a country of laws. People have to abide by them. Understand some of these kids are good kids and they're trying to contribute, but at the same time, we have to protect our own borders. We have to protect ourselves because no one else is going to do it for us. Trump is trying to do the right thing, and a lot of people are bashing him for it. I just don't understand. If we start letting these criminals in and these people in, who's to stop them? Are we going to become like Britain? You see all those videos of Britain and all those people being attacked in the streets. Is that what people want it to come to? Because if we continue down this path, that is the way that it's going to happen. That's the route we're taking right now.
Thanks, Lewis.
And Trump is trying to do the right thing. Now he's teaming up with Democrats to get things done. Because
Well-
healthcare reform didn't happen, so I think he's realizing, you know what? I'm going to reach out to the other side.
He doesn't need them for DACA. He's got his Speaker of the House on board.
Good.
This. There's more to this politically than needing Chuck and Nancy, as they're now called, to be on board for this. Casper in West Chicago.
Hi, good morning, Amy and Dan.
Morning.
Hello.
Morning. I just want to say to you, Mr. Dan,
Yes.
how you could talk about the honest discourse when the other side say these people is stealing jobs and invaders and criminals. Do you think that's an honest discourse?
No, I think there has been some overheated rhetoric from the right on this topic as well.
That's
And
not overheating. That's a lie.
That's
That's
what?
a lie.
What's a lie?
Criminals stealing jobs, invaders. That's
Well-
lie and lie.
Well, I think there's been Casper. You asked me a Casper. Okay.
to gain power, to make money.
Well, you asked me a question. So I think there's been generalizations that have made that are unfair. Are there people in this country illegally who've committed crimes? Yes, and come back.
You say
Are the, and
that's not an honest discourse.
What-
That's not an honest discourse.
what I just said is not honest.
Honest discourse from the other side, you have to do the same to the other
Well,
side.
I am, Casper.
so.
What did I just say that's dishonest? Yeah, that's
Excuse
right.
me?
What did I just say that's dishonest?
It's dishonest when you say that the other side is dishonest in his discourse.
Well, they are
and
dishonest.
You don't say that your side is dishonest as well as the other side.
Yeah, everybody's
sides
dishonest.
are dishonest.
Thanks for the call, Casper. Casper, when you call, you have to let me talk, and you can't just keep restating your point because I've responded to your point. So then you have to respond to my response. That's how a dialogue works. So, yes, I have been critical of the overheated rhetoric, the overgeneralizations about immigration and related topics when it comes from conservatives. Not everybody's a criminal who comes to this country. Not everybody aims to do us harm. I'm a pro-immigration conservative because I generally believe in the free movement of people and labor, generally. That does not unvetted, but as a general matter. And so, yes, overgeneralizing a diverse, large group is a dangerous business. And so I don't like when Republicans or conservatives do it. And I don't like to single out particular groups of people per their country of origin. I don't do that. So this is an area where precision with language is important because people's sensitivities are particularly heightened. And pulling back from kind of talking about an individual story to the public policy discussion, because that's what we're trying to get to. Sensible, fair, transparent, knowable public policy as it relates to immigration policy in this country, the immigration system in this country, the rule of law in this country. What Jeff Sessions said yesterday or the other day is correct. We can be a people who abide the rule of law and we can be a compassionate people. And that's exactly what we should be. We can evince both of those qualities. They're not mutually exclusive. And so, we try to do our best to strip away the hysteria of xenophobes on the right, and there are some, as well as the demagogues of the left, and there are many.
This is the morning show more Chicago radio listeners are choosing. This is Chicago's Morning Answer on AM 560. The Answer.
Message and data rates may apply. Please don't text while driving.
Do you know the top 3 promotional items for driving new customers? We do. Do you know how to make your logo come alive and magnetically attract new, long-lasting customers? We do. And do you know how to ensure your logo is delivered on the right promotional items on time at a great price? We do. 100% satisfaction guaranteed. Who are we? We're 4imprint, the nation's leading team to make your logo shine on your choice of thousands of promotional items. And right now, we want to share with you, for free, the top 3 promotional items for driving new customers. Discover them now by texting TOP to 642-642. Let us show you what a difference the right promotional items can make to help grow your brand. With 4imprint, you'll get high-quality products, exclusive items, popular brands, on-time delivery, and outstanding customer service. That's what we do. Discover the top 3 promotional items for driving new customers by texting TOP to 642-642. That's TOP to 642-642.
Balance of Nature's fruits and veggies.
Oh, I had my joints all ached. My sciatic nerve was really bad. Like 10 hours, my eyes were so tired and heavy and almost burning. And then when I woke up in the morning, there was this nagging pain. I mean, it hurt to open them. And just in a week, I don't have the nagging pain anymore. My joints stopped hurting, and I'm in wood season. I'm lugging wood right now, and I'm not hurting. So that's, amazing for me. I'm usually really suffering. It's pretty effective. And so now, like I said, my husband and I are both taking it, and he even said his joints aren't aching as much, and he's feeling better.
Good health is only a phone call away. What are you waiting for? Don't miss your opportunity to get a free month's supply of Balance of Nature. Call 1-800-2468-751. That's 1-800-2468-751. Or go online to balanceofnature.com.
Use promo code Chicago.
All right, I have to admit it was an eyesore, the chipping and paint peeling on our front and back porch. It looked awful, but thanks to CertaPro painters, the porch looks brand new. The painters who showed up were professional, respectful. They were done in just a few hours, and when they left, the house looked brand new. They really are the best in the business, and it's not too late to book your exterior painting project. There are several spots open on CertaPro's summer schedule. Here's an idea. Let CertaPro painters transform your home while you're on vacation and return to a freshly painted house. They're celebrating their 25th anniversary this year, and so we invite you to experience the CertaPro difference. For a free estimate, call 1-800-GO-CERTA, C-E-R-T-A, or visit CertaPro.com, that's Certa with the C. Get that painting project off your to-do list. Each CertaPro painter's business is independently owned and operated. CertaPro painters, we do painting, you do life.
Hey, protect your firearms and valuables in the best. A Liberty Safe from Maxson Shooter's Supply. Maxson is Illinois' largest Liberty Safe dealer and stocks the complete line of Liberty Safes the best money can buy. Not in stock? Maxson will order it. You can pick it up at Maxson or have it delivered and installed almost anywhere in your home. And for a limited time, Liberty is offering interest-free financing for qualified customers. Owning a Liberty Safe has never been so easy. No money down and 0% financing for year one. Hey, visit LibertySafe.com for details. For over 25 years, millions of American homes have trusted Liberty Safes to protect their guns, keep them out of reach of children, and protect their valuables from theft and fire. Liberty stands behind every safe with a lifetime warranty. If anyone tries to break into your Liberty Safe, they'll repair or replace it for free. Hey, choose the best. Trust a Liberty Safe from Maxson Shooter Supply in Des Plaines. Visit MAXONshooters.com or shop online at libertysafe.com.
AM 560, The Answer.
Coming up on Chicago's Morning Answer.
Is cheap sex making men give up on marriage? It certainly made Jesse Jr. give up on his. We'll talk to Mark Regnerus, who is a professor of sociology at the University of Texas and wrote the book, The Transformation of Men, Marriage, and Monogamy. That's at 6:36.
And looky here, California lawmakers approved naming a portion of a Los Angeles area freeway after... We'll tell you who later. But first, into the newsroom we go. Here's Mike Scott.
55 degrees, 9 deaths blamed on Irma after the Category 5 storm thrashes the Caribbean. Irma slamming the islands with rain and winds up to 180 miles per hour. Several islands, including Barbuda, St. Martin, the British Virgin Islands, left devastated. More than 1 million without power in Puerto Rico this morning. With Irma on the way, there's now a deadline to fly out of Central Florida, Orlando International, posting an announcement on its website. It will cease commercial flights at 5 p.m. Eastern Time Saturday. Bill providing billions of dollars in relief for Harvey victims is headed to the Senate after the House voted 419-3 to approve it.
The yeas are 419, the nays are 3. The resolution is agreed to.
One of those 3 no votes came from Arizona Republican Andy Biggs, who objected to a last-minute stuffing into that bill of funding for education programs in third world countries. President Trump bucking congressional Republican leaders and backing a big Democratic funding plan. The proposal links Harvey disaster aid to a 3-month extension of government funding and a 3-month boost in the debt ceiling. The FBI continuing their investigation following an explosion at an East Chicago, Indiana post office. United Airlines will not be punished by the feds for that passenger dragging incident earlier this year at O'Hare. The DOT has decided not to fine the airline after investigating the April incident with Dr. David Dow that went viral. Chicago aldermen voicing unanimous approval for a plan to raise the minimum wage for contract workers at O'Hare and Midway to $13.45 an hour. The move means that many who work as baggage handlers, cabin cleaners, and aircraft maintenance workers will see a raise from the current minimum of $11 an hour. Alex Avila's RBI triple in the top of the ninth gave the Cubs a 1-0 win over the Pirates. Sox look to avoid a 4-game sweep at the hands of the Indians after the Indians captured their 14th straight win last night, 5-1 over the White Sox. The news service of your local Jeep dealer. It's 1 week to Jeep at your local Jeep dealer. Get the best of the year on the award-winning lineup, but don't wait. 1 week to Jeep, and soon. Hurry in and see your local Jeep dealer today. 6:34 is our time. We'll have a check of traffic and weather on the way next on AM 560.
This hourly segment is brought to you by Papa Nicholas Coffee. Papa Nicholas, great coffee, period.
When you have sleep apnea, traveling can be a real drag because you have to drag your big, bulky home CPAP device with you everywhere you go. But not anymore. Now you can travel easily and sleep comfortably anywhere thanks to Transcend, the world's very first mini CPAP. And right now, you can try Transcend absolutely risk-free for 10 restful nights. So call now, 1-800-600-3585. Our smallest and most advanced portable design ever, Transcend is as small as a soda can and weighs less than a pound. You can even add a battery that's as tiny as a deck of cards. Transcend is so incredibly small and light, you can easily fit it in your briefcase or purse to use anywhere you go. It's FAA compliant, too, so you can even sleep comfortably while flying. Now you can enjoy the freedom to sleep comfortably anywhere. But don't delay. To receive your 10-night in-home trial, call minicpap.com now. 1-800-600-3585. Again, that's 1-800-600-3585.
Signature Bank is Chicago's fastest-growing independently owned business bank. It's a bank where relationships still matter. Signature Bank knows your name and your story. I'm Dan Proft, and I know this because Signature Bank is my business bank.
I'm Jim Durkin, founding partner of the Martech Group, a global market research firm based in Chicago since 1985 and a longtime customer of Signature Bank. When our business moved to our current Loop location, I recall seeing Mick O'Rourke and his 2 business partners, Brian Duncan and Kevin Bastuga, laying the foundation for Signature Bank. When Signature opened its doors in 2006, I was proud to move our accounts there and become a shareholder. Being in the consulting business, the Martech Group has a keen understanding of the value of relationships, trust, and attentiveness. Whether dealing with our U.S. practice or our international operations, Signature Bank is always there when we need them. That's why the Martech Group is proud to have Signature Bank as a valued business partner.
Signature Bank is looking for their next success story. Learn more about turning your business vision into reality. Visit signature-bank.com. Signature Bank, helping local businesses succeed. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
It is 6:36, and let's check the roads in the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center. Here's Jim Talamonte.
Thanks, Mike. It's going to be a long morning on the inbound Kennedy. An earlier crash downtown near Jackson left some heavy delays, and just when things were starting to recover, we've got another one at Montrose. 4 cars involved. The left center lane is blocked. It's heavy all the way from O'Hare, an hour and 10 minutes from the airport to downtown. 50 minutes from Montrose, 30 in the Express. Outbound 24 minutes from downtown to the airport. Edens is 22 minutes from Lake Cook Junction. Outbound 20. The Eisenhower, 48 minutes. Thorndale to the post office, outbound 31. Stevenson, 48 minutes. 355 to the drive, outbound 36. The Ryan, 24 minutes. 95th to downtown. I-57, 25 minutes. I-80 to the merge. Bishop 423. Northbound Tri-State, it's heavier from 87th LaGrange Road and from Reagan Tollway to the Eisenhower. Traffic at the service of Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance. When shopping for car insurance, consider this. Geico has been saving people money on car insurance for over 75 years. So if you're serious about savings, it's simple. Go to geico.com. After 75 years, they know how to save you money. Traffic answers when you need them most. I'm Jim Talamonte on AM 560, The Answer.
Chicago's Morning Answer continues next. Your official Chicagoland weather forecast. A cool day ahead. Periods of clouds and sunshine this morning. We could see an afternoon shower in spots. High 68, partly cloudy, and 53 overnight. 53 at O'Hare, 56 along the lakefront. Your next news update is at 7. Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy continues next on AM 560, The Answer.
This hourly segment is brought to you by Illinois Rising, hosted by Dan Proft and the Illinois Policy Institute. Sunday afternoons at 3 on AM 560, The Answer.
The hypocrites scatter when I shine the bright light of reason. I'm Larry Elder. Join me tonight at 7, right here on AM 560, The Answer.
Good morning, Dan and Amy. So there's a vote in Australia on same-sex marriage, and a Christian organization called Dads for Kids tried to run a television commercial in support of fatherhood. And this is in the run-up to Father's Day, which is September 3rd in Australia. Dads for Kids opposes the redefinition of marriage. And here's what the ad...
Oh,
I'll give you a little taste
commercial?
of it. Yeah.
Hush, little baby, don't you cry. Daddy's gonna sing you a lullaby. When you're sleeping safe and sound, you've got the proudest dad in town. I remember when I first saw you, your heart beating as you grew. We'll read stories to help you dream. Your mommy and I are a perfect team.
And it goes from there.
Well,
I know.
stop.
Well, you
I
were
was going to
falling
my-
asleep.
No, I was going to my
Yeah,
happy
I was
place.
afraid I was going to have to nurse you. So it was just that. It was just images of dads with their sons and daughters.
Okay. Was it same sex? No, just dads with their sons and daughters, right?
Yeah, and
Okay.
because
no mom in there.
there
Mhm.
were images of that too, but because there were no same-sex fathers, the ad was not allowed to be run.
What?
The networks in Australia, such as they are, rejected the ad. You can't have Father's Day if you don't include same-sex fathers.
So a dad and a father, because that's what they call them.
Okay.
Well,
if you say so.
Katie's got a dad and a father.
Well, and so this is an interesting segue to our next guest, who has written a book that's on this topic. The book is Cheap Sex: The Transformation of Men, Marriage, and Monogamy. The author is Mark Regnerus, or Regenerus. Wait, I'm mangling it. He's a sociology professor at University of Texas at Austin. And Mark, whose last name I just mangled, thanks for joining us. Appreciate it.
Happy to be here.
Is it Regnerus?
Regnerus.
Regnerus. And,
There you go.
Okay. So, cheap sex.
Mm-hmm.
What do you mean by that?
Well, it just means the observation that sex is easier to get than it ever has been. I mean, in terms of access of men to women, basically, and not just sort of. We're not just talking about sort of, intercourse. We're talking about sort of when you think about internet pornography, it is more realistic than ever before. So that too is sexual access. So if you look around, you compare it to several decades ago, and any time in the past, really, men's sexual access to women is unparalleled in history.
And so what are the consequences of that?
There's quite a few consequences if you think about it. One of the reasons we see sort of the slowing age at marriage, but even more importantly that the almost wholesale flight from marriage today. So you think about, okay, people wait longer, but far fewer people than ever before are doing it, getting married. So DeMeyer was, for the longest time, said, about 8 to 10% of people don't marry on average. And now they're saying, I think this generation of 20-somethings, 1 in 3 is not going to get married. And so you think, well, is it because they don't want to? I see no evidence that they don't want to. So you have to start fishing around and saying, well, why aren't they, right? And I come back to this. I mean, people used to say, oh, it's wages, if men's wages were higher. Well, that helps, for sure. But that's not the answer. So you look around for what's going on today that hasn't gone on in the past. And I think this is it.
Well, is it a possibility, though, that more men or boys are living at home with their parents because, heck, you can stay on mommy and daddy's health insurance until you're 26? And I know
that's part of it.
Yeah.
But even that's a financial incentive. But I mean, if you think about men, right, and talk to your colleague, like, what do men like, right? What do they want in life? And you don't have to stray too far, too long, to wind up with a sexual relationship. And that's an incentive that always motivates men. And if it's satisfied in your parents' basement until you're 26, then, that just takes a motivation for moving towards women out of the way. It slows things down.
So, but it does, Amy have a point there, not just the economic piece of that, living in your parents' basement on the insurance till 26, but the infantilization of men. Right. And also, a kind of corollary, the culture that says, hey, Dad, we don't really need you.
And if fathers cared a ton, they would push back hard. But one of the things that I hold is that, well, why are so many men putting up with this, right? Well, I think if we reel it back in a little bit, it goes back to, at some level, their needs are being satisfied. And if their needs are not being satisfied, then they will work for that. They will push for that, press for that. And I think that it's an unheralded answer. It's an unexamined answer. But that cheap sex or easy sexual access is in the background here. We see rates of cohabitation rising. I think cohabitation, we do it not because women really want that. Their end goal is marriage. They do it because men are in the driver's seat in the modern mating market because of how the sort of what I call the price of sex has plummeted so much.
Well, Mark, in this day of equality, gender equality, do you ever see a time when women will be the ones who ask men to marry them?
No, I actually address that in my book. I talk about, I've heard of it. It happens occasionally, but it's a very awkward thing, right? It's usually not get down on your knee and say, will you marry me? Because that's not how men operate, right? I mean, that would be men kind of acceding to marriage, not being men being asked to be married. So when women pose this, and a few do, it's kind of like hey, what do you think about this idea, right? Mm-hmm. Why don't we get married?
Check, please.
And then he might agree. But it's very different than men saying, other one, I'm going to sacrifice for you, right? And so women sometimes have this idea that, well, the way to a man's heart is in the bedroom. And I think that's just a fundamental misunderstanding of men.
So you've in your book you cite a number of psychologists who've done some study of this phenomenon. I believe you've done some of your own. Some of the shibboleths out there about the reason for lack of or declining marriage rates, for example, men's fear of commitment. You suggest that that's not the case at all.
Men have never been afraid to commit in the past. In fact, men are great when great things are asked of them, right? When they have to sacrifice. They don't really wish to sacrifice, but until you make them do so, their sort of latent greatness will not emerge. So I don't think men are afraid of commitment. The deal is that commitment is seldom asked of them in order to accomplish this thing, sex, that they always want, frankly.
Do you think if a man's not married by, say, age 44, 45, that there's still hope, that maybe they just haven't been challenged yet? Let him answer the question.
I'm very interested in the answer to this question, Mark. That may be my age range, and that may be my marital status.
There are very different reasons that men marry at various ages or not marry. And, some people have vocations to singlehood and feel called to it. Some people get comfortable in it. And, one of my best friends from my youth just, he dated plenty when he was younger, but nothing stuck. And he has grown comfortable in his sort of independent ways. And that's fine. I mean, I'm not here to get everybody married. What I'm here is, in part, to help is sort of diagnose why it is that a lot of people say they want to get married, but it doesn't actually happen.
And with respect to the impact of a decline in marriage on both men and women, I mean, in addition to the forming of fewer families, what are some of the kind of long-term societal and cultural impacts that we need to contemplate?
Yeah, I think when you talk about a whole segment of the population not marrying, you're talking about a lot more loneliness, right? One of the themes I keep hearing both from left and right in this stuff is increasing loneliness, more technology, but the more separated we are from each other.
We're going to marry. It's going to be Joaquin Phoenix's movie Her come to life. We're going to marry our operating systems.
I mentioned that in the back of my book is like this one of the more realistic kind of scenarios. I mean, people think it's silly, but you know what? If an operating system talks to you, gets to understand you, woo you, like that's pretty attractive, especially I'd say to women more than to men. I mean, women are used to being ignored, right? Here's an operating system that keeps talking to them and remembers everything they said, right?
Yeah.
They just don't nod and smile? This is fantastic.
Well, yeah, but now, these are more difficult topics because this is not consistent with the culture of the time. But it is a fundamental issue, the separation of sex from marriage?
Yeah.
Separation of sex from procreation?
The separation from sex from marriage has occurred quite a long time ago. But also then, more recently, in the last 50 years, we've figured out how to separate sex from babies, right? And such that I talk about in the book, like, the mental link isn't even there anymore. We don't think of this as like, oh, this is risky for pregnancy. We've cut that off such that the two processes in our head, sex and fertility, are just worlds different. You don't have children until you want to have children. Mm-hmm. That is very, very consequential here. So downstream, I mean, we were talking about fertility decline. Nobody cares about fertility decline because it's this big problem that one person can solve by themselves. But yeah, that's a major accomplishment that has come with unintended consequences.
All right, he is Mark Regnerus. Right? Did I get that? Mark Regnerus. He's associate professor of sociology at the University of Texas. The book, Very interesting. Cheap Sex, The Transformation of Men, Marriage, and Monogamy. Mark, you've given Amy a lot to think about. Thanks for joining us. Appreciate it. Good luck with the book.
And thank you. I'll give my notes to you, Dan. He joined us on our Turnkey.pro answer line.
It's what Chicago is talking about. It's Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy on AM 560. The Answer.
I'm Lou Dobbs. The Postal Service needs a 20% rate hike to avoid bankruptcy. Fed Chairman Fisher is stepping down. Those stories next.
When you lose power for a whole day due to a storm, it can seem endless. But there's a new kind of storm brewing, one that could target our nation's power grid and turn off the power not just for days, but months or even longer. Would you be prepared? Veteran news anchor Ted Koppel's new book, Lights Out, details this exact scenario. It's why many Americans are securing their own solar-powered generators to provide an endless supply of life-saving electricity without gas, fumes, or noise. When it comes to lightweight and powerful solar generators, the breakthrough Patriot Power Generator 1500 has it all, providing up to 1,500 continuous watts of clean, quiet, and free renewable solar power. You'll be able to power heat and lights, preserve food, recharge cell phones and computers, and keep critical medical devices going day after day, all from rechargeable solar power. If a blackout strikes, be protected with the power you need when you need it most. The Patriot Power Generator 1500. For all of the details, just go to blackout26.com. That's blackout26.com. Blackout26.com.
The price of first-class postage stamps may jump from 49 cents to 60 cents if the Postal Regulatory Commission has its way. A new study says the Postal Service requires the 20% rate hike if it's to avoid bankruptcy. Fed Vice Chairman Stanley Fisher, a close confidant of Fed Chief Janet Yellen, says he'll resign next month for personal reasons. His decision to step down gives President Trump another opportunity to reshape the makeup of the Federal Reserve. Economic reports today include jobless claims and the latest productivity and GDP numbers, and Congress has voted to speed up introduction of self-driving cars. The voice vote exempts vehicles from current safety standards. Please join me for Lou Dobbs tonight, 7 and 11 Eastern on the Fox Business Network. This is the Lou Dobbs Financial Report.
Upstream-ideas.com, our digital platform with original content, such as our Against the Current long-form interviews. This week, Charles Thomas and Mays Jackson, the WVON morning team. We talk race and politics. Our new series, Heart of the Matter, which features professional women speaking colleague to colleague about the salient issues of the day, the impact on household budgets and family, as well as My 60 Seconds of Sanity, Pat Hughes' 2-minute warnings from Illinois Opportunity Project about bad actors in public office, podcast for Illinois Rising program covering state policy and politics, and our Follow the Logic Man on the Street segments this week asking regular Illinoisans if they can follow Governor Rauner's logic in signing sanctuary state legislation. You can find it all if you visit and sign up at upstream-ideas.com.
Are you stuck in a bad home mortgage? Well, join the club that has about 10 million other American families. But I may be able to help you. My name is Lou Bridges. I'm an attorney with the law firm of Lou Bridges & Associates. We've been helping distressed homeowners like you for over 8 years now. Give us a call. We provide free consultations. I guarantee you it will not be a sales pitch. We will give you our honest legal analysis, counsel, recommendations, and advice regarding your options.
We are experts in doing loan modifications successfully. We know the regs. We understand the process. Most importantly, we don't take no for an answer. We fight. We are prepared, and we win. We save houses. We make houses affordable. So if you want to keep your house affordable, contact us.
Go to bridgeslaw.net or call 224-513-1231. That's 224-513-1231.
Remember, people, never give up the land. Fight for truth and justice. You do that, I guarantee you'll never be alone in this country.
Balance of Nature's fruits and veggies.
I'm 75 years old, and I don't eat enough vegetables or fruit. And this is a great thing to do. And it seems that I have more energy. It seems that I take that, and I take a lot of blood pressure pills and what do you call it, cholesterol. But my doctor tells me, he said, no, you might cut the dosage down on your pills because what are you taking? I said, Balance of Nature. He said he didn't know what it was, so I told him, I said it's fruits and vegetables condensed into little pill form. He goes, well, whatever it is, it's doing you a lot of good.
Good health is only a phone call away. What are you waiting for? Don't miss your opportunity to get a free month's supply of Balance of Nature. Call 1-800-2468-751. That's 1-800-2468-751. Or go online to balanceofnature.com. Use promo code CHICAGO.
One of the biggest fears for retirees and soon-to-be retirees, do I have enough? Do I have enough money to last for the rest of my life? I hear it every day when I meet with individuals, and it's for good reason. Check this statistic out. If you were born in 1800, you could expect to live until you were 39 years old. In 1900, 49. That number jumped to 68 in 1950, and today it's 79. How many people do you know that are in their 80s, in their 90s? Hi, this is Tom Fortino, host of the Alpha Wealth Hour, heard every Saturday at 9 a.m. here on AM 560. So how do you help ensure you never run out of money in retirement? The answers are in our special report, Maximizing Income in Retirement. In this powerful report, you'll discover successful tools and strategies on how to help turbocharge your income in retirement and how to position and protect your money regardless of what happens in the stock market. Call now to receive this report, Maximizing Income in Retirement, and will include 6 strategies to tax-free income. Call the Alpha Wealth Group, 630-519-4742 right now to receive your free report. That's 630-519-4742.
Investment advisory services offered through Retirement Wealth Advisors, Inc.
Have you ever heard someone say that the pro-life community is really just pro-birth? That is, we only care about a baby up until the moment he or she is born. Aid for Women, Chicago Pregnancy Centers and Maternity Homes, is proof that such a claim is fake news. Aid for Women provides housing, parenting classes, mentoring, and genuine friendship to pregnant women in need, allowing them to choose life and setting them on a path to financial security and independence. At Aid for Women, they believe that the solution to a crisis pregnancy is to remove the crisis, not the child. You can learn more about how you can help Aid for Women by visiting their webpage at helpaidforwomen.org. Or join me at Aid for Women's annual banquet featuring keynote speaker Cal Thomas, award-winning journalist and author, on Thursday evening, September 14th at the Union League Club. Go to helpaidforwomen.org for reservations or more information on Aid for Women's life-saving network. Again, that website, helpaidforwomen.org.
Acme Home Insurance.
Yes, I'd like to make a claim.
What are you wanting to claim, sir?
My air conditioner broke down.
Sorry, but your home insurance doesn't cover air conditioner breakdowns.
So what do you cover?
Home damage from things like earthquakes, volcanoes, a zombie apocalypse.
A zombie apocalypse? But that'll never happen.
But if it did, you'd be covered, sir.
But not my air conditioner?
I'm afraid not.
But his air conditioner could have been covered with a home warranty from American Home Shield. We cover major components of air conditioners, plus 20 other home systems and appliances, like electrical systems, plumbing, refrigerators, and more. For valuable free information, call 1-800-400-6096. Homeowners insurance can cover what might happen.
Zombies are coming!
But a home warranty helps cover what will happen.
Now the dryer won't work.
Be sure with the Shield. American Home Shield. For valuable free information, call 1-800-400-6096. That's 1-800-400-6096. 1-800-400-6096.
It's news, opinion, insight. It's AM 560, The Answer. WIND, Chicago.
At least 10 people dead, thousands left homeless. I'm Dave Anthony, Fox News. That's what we know so far from the Caribbean amid Hurricane Irma's fury.
Electricity just went whoop, so easily. So, yeah, I'm nervous.
She lost power on Puerto Rico, which Irma just swiped. It hit Barbuda directly.
The entire housing stock was damaged.
Prime Minister Gaston Brown says it's absolutely devastating. St. Martin and St. Bart's also get hit hard. A French official says they'll need to rebuild both islands. Turks and Caicos and the Bahamas are next, and Irma is still packing 180-mile-an-hour wind.
The states of Florida, Georgia, South Carolina, and North Carolina all need to be monitoring this closely.
FEMA Administrator Brock Long, Irma's track still not certain this weekend.
Get out of a storm surge area and into a facility that can withstand the winds.
Thousands have already evacuated, as they were told, in low-lying areas of Florida.
A lot of people waiting in line for gas. They've been trying to find water. Behind me right now, people are out here getting free sand. Now, here's the deal. This is one of 3 locations in Miami Beach where residents can come to get up to 10 bags of free sand. Now, they have to show an ID proving that they live in Miami Beach.
Fox's Jillian Mealy. Donald Trump Jr. has some explaining to do on Capitol Hill today. Fox's Rachel Sutherland live in Washington.
Dave, the president's eldest son is going behind closed doors with the Senate Judiciary Committee to answer questions about the Trump campaign's possible connections to Russia and about that mysterious meeting with a Russian lawyer who claimed to have dirt on Hillary Clinton. President Trump's son-in-law, Jared Kushner, and his former campaign chairman, Paul Manafort, attended the meeting in 2016. Both have already had closed-door meetings with congressional intelligence committees probing possible Russian collusion during the presidential campaign. Dave?
Rachel, another Confederate monument targeted for removal, this time in Dallas.
It's just a very sad day. It's a shame.
But just moments before the Robert E. Lee statue was taken down by a crane in place yesterday, a court order blocked its removal. Fox News, fair and balanced.
52 degrees, mostly sunny skies. It's 7:02 on AM 560. The Answer. Good morning. I'm Mike Scott. The FBI continues their investigation following an explosion in East Chicago, Indiana. It happened last night at a federal post office near East Chicago and Kennedy Avenues. Fire Chief Francisco Mendez.
It was actually inside. I cannot tell you exactly where, but it was inside, and we believe it was a package.
One employee was hospitalized with minor injuries. Chicago City Council goes on record calling for a state law to replace the DACA program if its protection of young illegal immigrants goes away. AM 560's David Stewart yesterday was at City Hall.
Aldermen unanimously passed a resolution calling for the state to pass its own DREAM Act. Aldermen like Harry Osterman said dreamers deserve protection.
All they want, all their parents want, is a better way of life. They want to contribute.
Mayor Emanuel says Governor Rauner should get behind such a law, but Rauner says no, it's an issue for Congress.
These children do not deserve to be left in limbo. We need resolution. We need comprehensive immigration reform through Congress.
Illinois has about 42,000 dreamers. David Stewart, NBC News Radio, Chicago.
Democratic gubernatorial candidate Daniel Biss moving forward without Chicago Alderman Carlos Ramirez Rosa. State senator announcing yesterday he's dropped the city council member as a running mate over comments he made last year about the U.S. divesting from Israel. An investigation is underway after a man was found dead in northwest suburban Woodstock. Ryan Hansen's body was discovered Monday in a farm field off Charles Road. Cubs winners over the Pirates, 1-0. Indians 5-1 winners over the White Sox. Tribe's 14th straight victory. The news service of Boost Mobile stuck in a high-dollar, low-gig family plan? Right now, switch to Boost Mobile's best family plan and get 4 lines for just $25 per line, each with unlimited gigs. Plus, get up to 4 free phones. Boost makes it easy to switch. Switching makes it easy to save. 7:04, we'll have a check of traffic and weather on the way next on AM 560.
See filmmaker and the best-selling author of Hillary's America, Dinesh D'Souza, on Saturday, November 11th at Freedom Summit 2017 at the Westin Chicago Northwest in Itasca. He'll be appearing with Lieutenant Colonel Oliver North. Also appearing, radio talk show host Larry Elder, Joe Walsh, Dan Proft, and Amy Jacobson. Tickets are on sale now at freedomsummitchicago.com. That's freedomsummitchicago.com. Sponsored in part by Best Dental Group.
All money managers may seem pretty much the same. But while some money managers may recommend high commission investment products, Fisher Investments avoids them. Some money managers may have hidden and layered fees. Fisher Investments never does. And while some money managers are happy to earn commissions from you, whether you do well or not, Fisher Investments fees are structured so we do better when you do better. In other words, we're structured to be on your side. Maybe that's why most of our clients come to us from other money managers. Talk with us and find out why so many experienced investors are switching to and staying with Fisher Investments. Fisher Investments, clearly better money management. Investments in securities involve the risk of loss. Visit us at FisherInvestments.com to find out what we can do for you.
7:05 and a check of the roads in the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center. Here's Jim.
Thanks, Mike. The inbound Kennedy's very heavy thanks to a couple of crashes, one downtown, one at Montrose. They're both gone now, but the delays remain. It is an hour and 14 minutes, so O'Hare to downtown, 50 minutes from Montrose, 30 in the Express. Big savings. Outbound, 40 minutes downtown to the airport.
Eden's 25 minutes from Lake Cook to the Kennedy, outbound 26. The Eisenhower, an hour and 4 minutes, Thorndale to downtown, 50 minutes from Manheim, outbound 38 to Thorndale. Stevenson, 56 minutes, 355 to Lakeshore Drive, outbound 38. The Rhine is 27 minutes, 95th to downtown. I-57, Bishop Ford, both 25 minutes from I-80 to the merge. Lakeshore Drive is fine southbound. Northbound, it's heavy Roosevelt to Jackson. Northbound tri-state delays, 111th to 87th. Plainfield Road to 47th. And from the Reagan Tollway to the Eisenhower. Northbound Veterans Memorial slow, 75th to the Reagan Tollway. The other tollways are good. Westbound 94 in Porter County. Stop and go from State Road 49 before US 20. Traffic answers when you need them most. I'm Jim Talamonte on AM 560, The Answer.
Chicago's Morning Answer continues next. Your official Chicagoland weather forecast with our meteorologist, Kevin Snyder.
Today, cool with periods of clouds and sun. An afternoon shower in spots. High 68. Tonight, partly cloudy, low 53. Tomorrow, partly sunny and cool with a high 66. I'm Kevin Snyder on AM 560, The Answer.
Watch out on the beaches from Gary to Grand Haven on the southeast and east sides of the lake. There is a beach hazard statement out for folks there. Currently 53 at O'Hare, 56 along Chicago's lakefront. Your next news update is at 7:30. Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy continues next on AM 560, The Answer.
This hourly segment is brought to you by Power Trading Radio. Heard Sundays at 2 p.m. Brought to you each week by Online Trading Academy.
This is Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan Proft and Amy Jacobson on AM 560, The Answer.
Good morning, Dan and Amy. I'll tell you what, I'd make this deal. I will sign on to legal status for all of the Dreamers.
Oh, okay.
If, there's an if.
Oh, there's always
a deal.
A compromise, or a deal. It's not a compromise.
If we deport Dick Durbin. If we're going to make a special a special accommodation for 800,000 people, why can't we make a special accommodation for Dick Durbin, even though he's a U.S. citizen?
Well, wait, where will he be deported to? Mars? We can just.
I don't care. I mean, since he had a statement to the Dreamers yesterday. He's so impassioned about this, and he's so genuine.
Cares?
Pick a country that is the home to a lot of the home of origin to a lot of Dreamer families. So somewhere in Central America, perhaps.
Okay. Maybe Venezuela.
I'll tell you what. You were down in Haiti. He could. There's a lot of good work he could do down there, don't you think?
He would love Haiti. The Haitian people will grow in his heart. And I do want to say I'm so glad Hurricane Irma did not hit Haiti.
Yeah. So Dick Durbin and DiFi.
Yeah.
We're holding, as Senate members of the Senate Judiciary Committee, we're holding a confirmation hearing for two appellate court nominees, Trump nominees for appellate court.
Okay.
One is Michigan Supreme Court Justice Joan Larson. The other is a Notre Dame Law School professor named Amy Barrett. And with respect to Miss Barrett, it was a rather ostentatious display of antipathy towards Catholicism from DiFi and Durbin. Listen to DiFi first, the senior senator from California.
When you read your speeches, the conclusion one draws is that the dogma lives loudly within you. And that's of concern when you come to big issues that large numbers of people have fought for years in this country.
The dogma lives loudly within you. She is referring to Professor Barrett's Catholicism. Does that trouble you at all? 312-642-5600, turnkey.pro answer line. 64636DA, turnkey.pro text line. Does it trouble you at all that DiFi is going after this Notre Dame law professor because she is Catholic and, as you'll hear, a faithful Catholic. While you contemplate that question, Dick Durbin, a self-professed Catholic, had this exchange with Professor Barrett.
So let me ask you this question. I'm a product of 19 years of Catholic education, and every once in a while, Holy Mother, the Church has not agreed with a vote of mine.
Church isn't celebrating that.
And has let me know. You use a term in that article, or you both use a term in that article I'd never seen before. You refer to Orthodox Catholics. What's an Orthodox Catholic?
As I recall, that term, we said something like, for lack of a better term, we're using the term Orthodox Catholic, and there was a long footnote saying, that was an imperfect term. It could, refer to Orthodox Judaism, Greek Orthodox. And so we kind of cast about, but what that term was designed to capture, because we were talking about conscientious objection, was a judge who accepted the church's teaching that the death penalty would be impermissible in that case. We wrote about it from the perspective of a Catholic judge because my professor, John Garvey, had already undertaken that project, but it's really a problem that could face a judge of any religion or no religion at all who had a conscientious objection to the death penalty.
Do you consider yourself an Orthodox Catholic?
I am a Catholic, Senator Durbin. Orthodox Catholic, we kind of, as I said in that article, we just kind of use that as a proxy. It is not, to my knowledge, a term currently in use, but if you're asking whether I take my faith seriously and I'm a faithful Catholic, I am, although I would stress that my personal church affiliation or my religious belief would not bear on the discharge of my duties as a judge.
There are many people who might characterize themselves as Orthodox Catholics who now question whether Pope Francis is an Orthodox Catholic. I happen to think he's a pretty good Catholic.
I agree with you.
Good. Then that's good common ground for us to start with.
What do you think, Senator Torquemada? The Inquisition.
Do they think that her religious beliefs are going to affect her judicial decisions?
That's what they're saying.
Yeah.
That's what they're saying. And they're referring to this article she wrote 20 years ago, as she was referencing, Professor Barrett referencing, about judges who have a conscientious objection to adjudicating capital cases. So they argued that you recuse yourself if you have such a moral objection. Okay. Here's something else for consideration. And it's amazing to me how tolerant people are of bigotry towards Catholics and Christians, which is what was on display there. It's incredible to me how indulgent people are when they see someone being targeted, attacked by the government or its agents for their religious beliefs. It's a very dangerous place we're in when that exchange between Professor Barrett and Di-Fi and Durbin is given a shoulder shrug in most places. Those are not shoulder shrug moments. They're not. And something else for consideration, since we're talking about the rule of law, we're talking about the Constitution, we're talking about Supreme Court jurisprudence and precedent, because we're talking about nominees to the appellate court. It may surprise the good Catholic Senator Dick Durbin and Di-Fi to learn that the men who wrote the founding documents were Christian.
Mm-hmm.
The men and women who've sat on the bench for these couple 100 years and change, some of those men, many of those men, and to a lesser extent women, because it's a more recent occurrence, of course, their opinions, their understanding of the Constitution, their understanding of the rule of law in a free society were informed by their Christianity. That's just a fact. Or their faith generally, for Jewish members of the bench as well, and other religious affiliations. The idea that you can separate your worldview from the execution of your professional responsibilities. It's this game we like to play. But it's not really true. Because what is your faith inform? Your character?
Mm-hmm.
The values that you want to abide and want to see others emulate? This is not to suggest we have some kind of theocracy, of course. That's the First Amendment Establishment Clause, which I agree with. But this dance that people have to do while anti-Catholic bigots that are, to borrow a Dennis Millerism, Earl-shibed into looking somewhat consequential like Di-Fi and Durbin, can get away with this and continue the prosecution of secularizing America, expunging religion. You're not where the Establishment Clause prevents the establishment of a national religion. It is also supposed to, since this country was founded by people seeking religious freedom, fleeing religious persecution, it's also to provide safe haven for religious liberty. And we're so much more worried about people who have a long history of professional success, single-handedly imposing a theocracy. And by the way, these are the same people that have no problem with totalitarian Islamic theocracies in the Middle East and North Africa. I mean, the hypocrisy is so layered with the left, it's difficult to know where to begin. So much to peel back. So much more worried about that than they are the expungement of religious liberty in this country at the hands of the U.S. Senate, at the hands of the IRS. We're really focusing on the big things? Or are we being led down the path to purposely mistake the forest for the twigs by political hacks like Di-Fi and Durbin and other anti-Catholic and anti-religious bigots who are their own gods? Big government worshipers. It's a big question. And I'm glad Durbin and Di-Fi provided the display they did, because people should be contemplating this question. And you should take, we just played the clips, you should really go watch that hearing, at least the good portion of it, and more of the exchanges and context that we played. Don't have time for it here. You really should, and you should think about it. It's only a free society that's at stake. Chris in Riverside, you're on Chicago's Morning Answer.
Thank you very much. 100% agreement. 2 quick points. Number one, I believe that at a practical level, Durbin was violating the Constitution because basically he's imposing a religious test. He wants to come up with some kind of inverted declaration that religion means nothing to me. That's the kind of secularism I think, Dan, you're referring to. Second, no one, if any one of your listener has not gone into Durbin's background as a pro-lifer,
oh yeah,
and using his Catholic connections to get himself through the original primary to challenge Paul Findlay in Central Illinois in about 1982, he basically said, I am the altar boy for Congress, stick with me and I'll stick with you. And then as soon as he had a shot at the Senate, Dan, you know better than I, he flipped.
Yeah.
Those are my points. Thank you.
Thanks for the call, Chris, and the history lesson. It's good. Yeah, that's right. Dick Durbin was a pro-life congressman from Central Illinois. Stick with me, and I'll stick it to you, is how it actually went down with Durbin, because he is amoral scum. He is a disgrace to the state. He's a disgrace to the nation. He's just mastered saying completely unreasonable, intolerant, offensive, disgusting, bigoted statements, like you heard, in a very room temperature, sing-songy, kind of neutrally inquisitive voice. And, of course, the ducklings in this state fall for it over and over again, starting in 1996 when he beat Al Salvi. I mean, the stuff that we tolerate in Illinois, it's just remarkable to me. Dan in Evanston.
Oh, hi there.
Hey.
Yeah, I would have, on the last caller's point, the religious test, I would have, if I had been Barrett, I would have called both Dick and Di-Fi out on that and question their competency to be standing there in judgment. You know, they're standing in violation of the Constitution, and throw that right back on them.
Yeah.
Whether they're qualified to be in the position they are.
Yeah. No. Yeah. Thanks for the call, Dan.
Maybe they're being respectful.
I mean, it's a tough position for these nominees. You know, they're trying to get confirmed, obviously, and frankly, you know, you get prepped by White House staff. Here's what they're going to do. Here's what they're going to say. Here's the article they're going to raise and the questions they're going to ask about this article. Here's what we want you to do because we're nominating you not to have your William Jennings Bryan moment, but to make it to the appellate court so that you can adjudicate these cases at the appellate level.
Play it cool, play it calm, like you're in a deposition.
Yeah.
Don't say too much.
I mean, you're right. Somebody should make that point. Dan from Evanston's point is a fair one, and it shouldn't just be on talk radio. Where are the other senators on the Judiciary Committee? They're Republicans on the Judiciary Committee, you know, because they're in the majority in the Senate. This just in. Where's anybody to
get up and stop them and say, this is not a religious test. What are you doing?
Absolutely. Where are other people? It's so interesting to me, right? Where are the people to provide the pushback? It's always somebody else's responsibility. Where are the senators there? It's the same question. The Chicago media. Where are the people asking, other than us and Hugh Hewitt and talk radio, for some accountability for Louis Gutierrez's statements against General Kelly, a Gold Star father? He's a disgrace to the uniform he used to wear.
He still wears a uniform, by the way.
Well, okay, fair enough.
But Gaito doesn't even probably know that.
The complete pass that intolerant bigots, demagogues, hateful, small, little people, and I mean that in a character sense, not a physical sense, like El Gaito and Durbin, what they get away with? What they get away with.
You've made the switch, and it feels so good. You switched to Chicago's Morning Answer on AM 560. The Answer.
Coming up next, California lawmakers are naming a part of the Ventura Freeway after who, and then we'll tell you why as well. But first, here's your forecast. We're going to have some sunshine, as you can see, but another cool day. Feels like October, a high of 68 degrees. Tonight, lows in the 50s. If you're out in the western suburbs, it's going to get into the 40s. And then for Friday, yes, it's already Friday. Got to love these short work weeks. We're going to have partly sunny skies, a high of 66 degrees. Let's get into our Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center. Here's Jim Telemonte.
Thanks, Amy and Dan. The inbound Kennedy is a solid mess from Canfield into downtown Chicago. It is an hour and 15 minutes O'Hare to downtown thanks to a couple of earlier crashes. 46 minutes from Montrose, 38 in the Express. Outbound 44 to the airport. Eden's 26 minutes. Lake Cook Junction outbound 29. The Eisenhower, an hour and 11 minutes. Thorndale to the post office. 56 minutes from Manheim. Outbound 41 to Thorndale. Stevenson, 56 minutes, 355 to Lakeshore Drive, outbound 38. Ryan, 30 minutes, 95th to downtown. Tri-State delays are northbound from 111th to LaGrange Road, Plainfield Road to 47th, and then from the Reagan Tollway to North Avenue. Reagan Tollway slow now from the Fox River to Mill. Veterans Memorial jammed. I-55 most of the way to Roosevelt. Army Trail to 290. Jim Talamonte in the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center.
You know, people ask me all the time, do you really use a MyPillow? Do you really like that Go Anywhere MyPillow? And the truth is, yes, I'm a MyPillow advocate. I even let my neighbors, like my neighbor Mike, try the MyPillow for a week, and eventually they buy their own. But if you don't have a MyPillow, why not? You get 10-year warranty, a 60-day money-back guarantee if you don't like it. And what makes it so unique is that the creator, Mike Lindell, who, by the way, donated 60,000 pillows to Texas flood victims. He had the patented fill. He created it, this fill, to give you support you need where you need it most. You can move it around to give you support on your neck and back. You will get a great night's sleep. You will wake up feeling refreshed, rejuvenated, ready to tackle your day. So be like the cool kids and get a MyPillow. And right now there's 50% off the MyPillow 4-pack. That's 2 premium MyPillows, that whether they're king size or queen size, and 2 Go Anywhere MyPillows, 50% off. Here's what you do. Go to MyPillow.com, type Amy, A-M-Y, in the promo code to get this great offer, or simply call 800-489-0201. That's 888-489-0201, promo code Amy.
Balance of Nature's fruits and veggies.
I had some ulcer issues on my leg that I had from Vietnam. It would erupt on occasion of periods of stress. When I was taking juices, these ulcers had disappeared, but I was not able to get good quality fruits and vegetables to make good juices. And, these ulcers came back. But since I've been taking the fruit and the veggie capsules, these ulcers again have subsided.
Good health is only a phone call away. What are you waiting for? Don't miss your opportunity to get a free month's supply of Balance of Nature. Call 1-800-2468-751. That's 1-800-2468-751. Or go online to balanceofnature.com. Use promo code Chicago.
We just got a great idea for a parody, a spoof on El Gallito. And it came from Mike Scott. He said we should take Despacito.
Well, now you're ruining it. Just wait. We'll unveil it. Don't you know how to market? You gotta create anticipation and demand.
Justin's already just said he can sing it. Fine.
Oh yeah, Justin can sing it.
He can. Yeah. What was that last tune you did? Woo. Hey, trust is the single most important factor in hiring a contractor, and Dependable Construction and its founder, Joe Barron, built their business over 3 decades by being trustworthy. Tuck pointing, brick, and roofing is Joe's specialty. Now, Joe started as a laborer and progressed to an expert tuck pointer and bricklayer. And in addition to masonry and roofing, Joe and Dependable Construction have grown to become a full-service Angie's List and Better Business Bureau award-winning contractor. There's not many of those out there. So for brick masonry, roofing on residential, commercial, or industrial projects, or to any other type of remodeling, maybe your kitchen, your basement, any type of remodeling or construction, you will deal directly with owner Joe Barron. So call Joe Barron at Dependable Construction, and guess what? Joe Barron will pick up the phone. Mention AM 560 and receive a 10% discount on most jobs. 773-244-1091. That's 773-244-1091, or visit tuckpointchicago.net. That's tuckpointchicago.net.
What do you call charging thousands of dollars for hearing aids? I call it outrageous, because hearing should not be a privilege for the rich. It's a basic right everyone deserves. Hi, I'm Dr. Chirakuri, board-certified ear, nose, and throat physician. If you or a loved one suffer from hearing loss but can't afford thousands for a hearing aid, I created MD Hearing Aid for you, a high-quality medical-grade hearing aid for a fraction of that price.
Try MD Hearing Aid at home, risk-free for 45 days. Call 1-800-300-0868.
No costly doctor's visit. No expensive and time-consuming fittings or appointments. No ugly, old-fashioned hearing aid that costs thousands. MD Hearing Aid is an FDA-registered, audiologist-tested hearing aid that's discreet and lets you hear what you've been missing at a savings of more than 80% off the average price of a traditional hearing aid.
Try MD Hearing Aid risk-free for 45 days. Call 1-800-300-0868. Plus, you'll get free shipping and free batteries for a year. 1-800-300-0868.
I ordered some Andro 400. I'm losing weight, too, around the belly really quickly. Some of the pants that didn't fit me, now they're falling off my hips. There's been a noticeable increase in energy. Then this stuff works. It does work.
That's what Bill said after taking Andro 400 for a month. Now listen to what Richard says about Andro 400.
I did a lot of research on it before I ordered it because I've tried other products in the past and they haven't worked. But I could not believe the difference literally within a month. Since I started taking it, I have lost 37 pounds. It was the belly fat. I could get weight off, but I could never get the tummy off. Now the tummy's coming off, and I have more energy than I've had in 20 years.
Guys, if you too want to lose belly fat, gain energy, and feel 20 years younger like Richard, try Andro 400. The safe, natural, and affordable way to boost your testosterone. Go to andro400.com or call 888-400-0435. That's 888-400-0435.
AM 560, The Answer.
So, Dan, on the day that the Trump administration decided to rescind DACA, the California legislature passed a resolution to rename part of the Ventura Freeway after President Barack H. Obama. It's going to be between Glendale and Foothill freeways. So Glendale, you know what that is. You've been on the Ventura Freeway, right? Mm-hmm. It's a portion of the Ventura Freeway that represents a road traveled by Obama because in the 1970s, he traveled from his home in Pasadena to Occidental College in Eagle Rock.
Great.
So that's why they're...
I can't wait for the tours where they explain the basis for the naming of that stretch of highway. That'll take about 4 hours just to traverse that stretch. Good for them out on the left coast. Coming up at 7:37, we're going to talk to Ambassador John Bolton. We'll talk North Korea. But I also want to ask him if Sebastian Gorka was a casualty of the Courtier class inside the D.C. foreign policy establishment.
And later, should women be able to go topless? One town is considering. Yes. Hello. But first, let's go into the newsroom. Here's a man with his shirt on. Here's Mike Scott.
54 degrees, mostly sunny skies. At least 9 deaths are being blamed on Hurricane Irma after the Category 5 storm thrashed the Caribbean. Irma slamming the outer islands with rain and winds of up to 180 miles an hour. Devastation on Barbuda, St. Martin, and the British Virgin Islands. And Florida Governor Rick Scott says his state is working hard to get ready for Irma as well.
We are being very aggressive in our preparation for this storm, and every Floridian should take this seriously and be aggressive to protect their family.
Florida's governor saying folks need to heed those evacuation warnings, and including those warnings about flights being canceled midday on Saturday out of major airports in Florida. Steve Bannon says there's no room in American politics or society for neo-Nazis, neo-Confederates, and the KKK. Former White House chief strategist spoke with CBS's 60 Minutes in an interview to be aired this Sunday. Bannon, a Trump ally, founder of the media outlet Breitbart News, where he defended President Trump's comments after the rallies in Charlottesville, Virginia, where he condemned violence on many sides.
He's talking about the neo-Nazis and neo-Confederates and the Klan, who, by the way, are absolutely awful. There's no room in American politics for that. There's no room in American society for that. And all Donald Trump was saying is, where does it end? Does it end in taking down the Washington Monument? Does it end in taking down Mount Rushmore? Does it end in taking Churchill's bust out of the Oval Office?
Bannon on 60 Minutes. You'll hear that full interview on 60 Minutes on Sunday, and says he understands that Trump also feels very significantly the role of peaceful disagreement over issues like removal of statues. The FBI continues investigating following an explosion at an East Chicago, Indiana post office. United Airlines will not be punished by the feds for the passenger dragging incident earlier this year at Chicago's O'Hare Airport. Illinois among 15 states and the District of Columbia going to court to try to keep the DACA program alive. Illinois AG Lisa Madigan joining a suit filed by New York's Attorney General. An investigation is underway after a man was found dead in Woodstock. Ryan Hansen's body was discovered in a farm field Monday off Charles Road. Cubs over the Pirates 1-0. Indians beat the White Sox 5-1. Tribe capturing their 14th straight win. The news service of Cabela's. Cabela's hunting sale is finally here. Save $70 on Savage 111 Trophy Rifle Scope packages and get 40% off Herder's men's, women's, and youth camo clothing. Plus, $20 off a Centerpoint Sniper 370 camo crossbow package. Shop in-store and at Cabela's.com. 7:34 and a check of traffic and weather on the way next on AM 560.
The founder of Black Lives Matter said white racist hate speech is not free speech.
The Joe Walsh Show.
Again, somebody stupid on the left, not understanding our Constitution, not understanding the First Amendment. Hate speech is protected.
The Joe Walsh Show. Weeknights starting at 5. Right after Sean Hannity at 2 on AM 560. The Answer.
Cabela's hunting sale is finally here. Come in and find great deals on the latest hunting gear and apparel. Shop in-store and at Cabela's.com.
Hey, you've heard how Automated Systems excels at assisting companies with systems integration and FDA compliance.
but they're also a staffing leader. They supply handpicked elite leadership, subject matter experts, and proven technical professionals in engineering, quality control, and FDA compliance to support the life sciences field in executing mission-critical projects. ASI provides highly specialized pros to deliver projects on time and budget. Don't pay a lot more to a big consulting firm, and don't trust the big temp agencies to supply the talent you need. Call Laz, my friend Laz at Automated Systems, when failure isn't an option. ASI is retained by all of Chicagoland's Fortune 500 life sciences companies, from big pharma to startups, and excel through a culture of excellence in execution. For a staffing, compliance, or automation evaluation, call Laz now at Automated Systems at 844-HIRE-ASI or visit AutomatedSYS.com. That's 844-HIRE-ASI or AutomatedSYS.com.
7:36. Let's get an update on the roads in the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center. Here's Jim.
Thanks, Mike. The inbound Kennedy remains very heavy. An hour and 15 minutes O'Hare to downtown thanks to earlier wrecks. 46 minutes from Montrose, 38 in the Express. Outbound 44 to the airport. Eden's 26 minutes. Lake Cook to the junction. Outbound 31. The Eisenhower's an hour and 11 minutes from Thorndale to downtown. Outbound 41 minutes. Stevenson an hour and 4 minutes. 3:55 to the drive. Outbound 38 minutes. Ryan 30 minutes. 95th to downtown. I-57 just got very heavy. 45 minutes. I-80 to the merge. Bishop Ford Worth at 49. Northbound tri-state delays are from 111th to LaGrange Road, Plainfield Road to 47th, and from the Reagan Tollway up to Irving Park. Traffic is the service of Boost Mobile. Stuck in a high-dollar, low-gig family plan? Right now, switch to Boost Mobile's best family plan and get 4 lines for just $25 per line, each with unlimited gigs. Plus, get up to 4 free phones. Boost makes it easy to switch. Switching makes it easy to save. Traffic answers when you need them most. I'm Jim Talamonte, AM 560, The Answer.
Chicago's Morning Answer continues next. Your official Chicagoland weather forecast. We'll have a cool, sunny start to the day. Clouds on the increase through the midday. Maybe a chance of an afternoon shower in spots and a high of 68. Partly cloudy and 53 overnight. Currently, 54 at O'Hare. Next news coming up at 8. Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy continues next on AM 560, The Answer.
This hourly segment is brought to you by In the Know with Wealth Management Group, hosted by Craig Bolanos. Heard Sunday mornings at 10.
More of Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy comes your way now. And make sure to join me, Larry Elder, tonight at 7, only on AM 560, The Answer.
Good morning, Dan and Amy. By the way, just as a footnote in that discussion we were having about the confirmation hearings, and particularly the Delphi and Durbin exchanges with Notre Dame law professor Amy Barrett, she's the mother of 7, too. She described herself as a faithful Catholic. She's living her faith, big family, successful, obviously Notre Dame law professor, nominee to the appellate court. This is everything that the feminist movement talks about with the kind of the woman who has it all and does it all, isn't it?
Yeah.
And yet, did anybody come to her defense when she was being excoriated in a room temperature tone of voice, but excoriated nonetheless because she's a Catholic and she takes her faith seriously? No, they were silent because they're hypocrites and cowards. We're going to get back to that story. But for now, we need to go to threats abroad, and most notably the North Korean threat. And to help us explore what the president's options are at this juncture is our friend, former U.S. Ambassador to the UN and AEI scholar, John Bolton. Ambassador Bolton, thanks for joining us again. Appreciate it.
Glad to be with you. Thanks for having me.
So you said earlier this week the only diplomatic option left is regime change, essentially South Korea taking over the North. If that's a fair characterization of what you said, how could that actually be accomplished?
Well, what needs to be done is to convince China that reunification of the Korean Peninsula is in China's interest. You know, China has the unique capability to apply unbelievable economic pressure against North Korea. If they were really serious in saying they didn't want North Korea to have nuclear weapons, they would have done that sometime in the past 25 years. The reason China has not applied that economic pressure is that they fear, quite correctly, that it could bring the regime in North Korea crashing to the ground. And the result of that would be millions of Korean refugees fleeing into China, the intervention of South Korea and the United States to seize North Korea's nuclear weapons and try and restore order and prevent massive refugee flows into South Korea. It could bring Americans right to the Yalu River, right to the border with China. And they don't want to see that possibility. But the fact is that as long as North Korea continues to exist, its nuclear capability will continue to grow. And that means, from China's point of view, the risk that Japan could get nuclear weapons, South Korea, or others. So my pitch to China is not to try and apply pressure to them, although the threat of a Japanese nuclear capability is pretty powerful, but to say, if you're serious that you don't want to see North Korea with nuclear weapons and you don't want these other tragedies to befall, let's do this the easy way rather than the hard way. Now, people in the United States say, oh, but China wants a buffer state between China proper and U.S. forces in South Korea. Look, I think Chinese strategists are way ahead of that. A couple hundred miles of terrain isn't a buffer in an age of intercontinental ballistic missiles. There's a way to resolve this problem. We have perilously little time to try and do it. Wish we'd started about 15 years ago, but I still think it's worth the effort, because once you get past that, there really isn't much other than the military option, unless you're content to have North Korea with nuclear weapons for all eternity and live under the continuing threat of nuclear extortion. And not just from North Korea, but from whomever they might sell these weapons to.
Right, and some are conceding that point, which I agree with you, should not be conceded. Gordon Chang, who's an academic in this space, has written a lot about China in particular, suggests that there are things that can be done still on the kind of economic front that would be debilitating to China, including a full UN embargo on North Korea, total UN embargo on North Korea, and essentially going after the Chinese banks so that we can't be pleading, instead of pleading with the Chinese to intervene, we start to impose a cost on them for not intervening.
Yeah, well, this is a theory that's going the rounds these days, and let's consider what it means. It's an argument that we need to apply pain to China to get them to do the right thing on North Korea. Okay, I'm perfectly willing to entertain that. That doesn't bother me in the slightest. But in dealing with a huge economy like China, in order to do something more than just irritate them, you have to apply really sweeping sanctions. So let's say no involvement by Chinese financial institutions in the United States. That would be painful to China. It would also be painful to the United States. And the minute that was announced, the chairman of Goldman Sachs, the chairman of J.P. Morgan, the chairman of Morgan Stanley, the chairman of Citibank, the chairman of Wells Fargo would be on the phone to the president saying, what are you doing? The fact is, sanctions work, particularly against big economies, when you impose real pain and you are willing to bear the pain that your economy also suffers from cutting off economic interchange. Mm-hmm. Now, if anybody thinks the American business community is into pain, I'd like to have a word with them. So I just think as a theoretical possibility, sure, it might make sense. But imagine, suppose we said, all right, we're going to cut them off from cyber commerce, Amazon, Google, Facebook. They'd be all over Washington. The American business community, I think, is just not on board for this, which is why I think ultimately, while it might give us some comfort to apply a little pain to China, might make us feel good, what we really need to do is appeal to China's self-interest and say, look, coldly calculate what it means to you to have this rogue state developing deliverable nuclear weapons on your border compared to an alternative outcome that still leaves you secure, but which removes this threat from East Asia.
Well, what about Russia's idea to have a freeze for freeze? North Korea freeing their nuclear program where we freeze military exercises with the U.S. and South Korea.
Well, if you're on North Korea's side, it's a great idea. In the past 25 years, the North Koreans have multiple times promised to entirely give up their nuclear program, and they've lied about it every time. This is a society that's determined to have deliverable nuclear weapons, and they're really only, to me, two acceptable outcomes here. Either that regime disappears or their nuclear weapons disappear. If we end up, let's say, a year from now, with that regime still in power, still pursuing deliverable nuclear weapons, but which by then they may well be able to range all across the United States, we have lost.
I want to just switch gears and ask you about this piece that was written by Johns Hopkins professor Michael Vlahos about Sebastian Gorka and his departure as part of the Trump foreign policy team, if you will. And he in the piece, he's critical of Gorka in terms of his foreign policy chops, his understanding of Islam, and so forth. But that's not really the point. The interesting thing that he makes, is about the courtier class that he essentially intimates runs the foreign policy establishment in D.C. Gorka's fail, writes the professor, is less about him than it's a reminder how the stiletto wielders, the little fingers, Game of Thrones reference from a Johns Hopkins professor is impressive, still rule America's imperial city, relentless empire notwithstanding. This awareness itself should be further reminder that no nation should carelessly entrust its welfare to such as these. He talks about kind of inside the foreign policy establishment elites, part of the royal court that is always part of the royal court regardless who the president is. And Gorka, who was supposed to be at minimum a signal to the America First perspective on geopolitical matters, was a casualty to them, suggesting that their preeminence remains despite the change in power in the Oval Office.
Yeah, well, I think there is a foreign policy establishment in the United States, in Washington and New York and elsewhere, and it's the establishment that's got us into the desperate straits we're now in with countries like North Korea and Iran, that doesn't understand the strategic threat posed by China and the continuing strategic problems posed by Russia. This is the establishment is what comes up with the consensus. Well, it's the consensus view that we need to apply economic sanctions to North Korea, and that's all true. And it is like any establishment, deeply rooted in the bureaucracy, which has its own culture in Washington. It persists unless somebody demonstrates leadership to change its direction. And I think this is one of the problems in the Trump administration, is that it has not put in people throughout the bureaucracy who share the direction that Trump wants to go in and are able to carry out his policies deep within the bureaucracy itself. I mean, it's perfectly natural, if you think about it, that on January the 21st of this year, the day after Trump was inaugurated, the bureaucracy, left to its own devices, will pursue precisely the same policies it was pursuing on January the 19th. And it will do that on January the 22nd and January the 23rd until somebody says, change direction. And even then, it's like turning a big aircraft carrier around. You can't do it overnight. And I think part of the problem that Trump is facing, particularly in national security, less so in some of the domestic departments, is that there aren't enough people in place out in the bureaucracy or even at the NSC and the White House who understand the different direction and priorities that he has. So in that sense, obviously, it's a management problem as much as anything else.
He is the always insightful former U.S. Ambassador to the UN, John Bolton. Ambassador Bolton, thanks again for joining us. Appreciate it.
Well, thanks for having me.
And he joined us on our turnkey.pro answer line.
Hear about the big stories of the day, then talk about them right here on Chicago's Morning Answer on AM 560. The Answer.
Coming up next, one California town might allow women to walk around topless just like men. Good idea, bad idea? Dan?
How about a trade?
Oh.
Men cannot in exchange for allowing women to.
That's a good idea. But first, here's your forecast. Who's turned on their heat? Ooh. Cool today again, a high only of 68 degrees, but we will have some sunshine. We can't rule out an afternoon shower. That's in northwest Indiana. And then partly cloudy tonight, a low in the 50s and on the 40s if you're in the outlying suburbs. And then tomorrow, Friday, partly sunny, but still cool, a high of 66 degrees. Let's get into our Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center. Here is Jim Telemonte.
Thanks, Amy and Dan. Well, traffic's pretty scary this morning on the inbound Eisenhower. The travel time has shot up to now nearly an hour and a half from Thorndale to downtown. Actually, an hour and 26 minutes. Close enough. It's an hour and 2 minutes just from Manheim to downtown. Outbound 53 minutes to Thorndale. Kennedy, that's no option. An hour and 15 minutes O'Hare to downtown, 46 minutes from Montrose, and 38 in the Express. Outbound, 44 minutes to the airport. Edens, 26 minutes Lake Cook to the junction. Outbound 32. The Stevenson, an hour and 4 minutes, 3:55 to the drive. Outbound 38 minutes. The Ryan is 30 minutes, 95th to downtown. I-57, 50 minutes from I-80 to the merge. Bishop Ford, 43. Southbound Lakeshore Drive is slow. Bryn Mawr to North Avenue, 35 minutes Hollywood to Monroe. Tri-State now has a southbound delay, 132 to 176. Northbound 111th to LaGrange Road, Plainfield Road to 47th, and from the Reagan Tollway up to Irving Park. Veterans Memorial delays are from I-55 most of the way to Roosevelt and Army Trail to 290. I'm Jim Talamonte and the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center.
Have you ever heard someone say that the pro-life community is really just pro-birth? That is, we only care about a baby up until the moment he or she is born. Aid for Women, Chicago Pregnancy Centers, and Maternity Homes is proof that such a claim is fake news. Aid for Women provides housing, parenting classes, mentoring, and genuine friendship to pregnant women in need, allowing them to choose life and setting them on the path to financial security and independence. At Aid for Women, they believe that the solution to a crisis pregnancy is to remove the crisis, not the child. You can learn more about how you can help Aid for Women by visiting their webpage at helpaidforwomen.org. Or join me at Aid for Women's annual banquet featuring keynote speaker Cal Thomas, award-winning journalist and author. That's Thursday evening, September 14th at the Union League Club downtown. Go to helpaidforwomen.org for reservations or more info, or on Aid for Women's life-saving work. Again, the website, helpaidforwomen.org.
As a small business owner, you're always on the go. So how can you make sure you never miss a customer's call? Grasshopper. With Grasshopper, you get all the features of a business phone system. That's right, Grasshopper turns your cell phone into a business phone system that's affordable and incredibly easy to use. Get a toll-free or vanity phone number that's memorable and professional. Customers are forwarded to your phone and connected to you or your team wherever you are. And with our app, your outgoing calls and texts show up as your professional phone number. We'll transcribe your voicemails and send them to your email so you can determine their importance at a glance. So whether you're always on the go or working from home and need to keep business calls separate, or you simply want a professional tone, Grasshopper makes it happen. Set up your account in just minutes. There are no long-term contracts and support is 24/7. Get your calls, stay connected, thrive. Now get $20 off your plan when you visit grasshopper.com/radio. grasshopper.com/radio.
Balance of Nature's fruits and veggies.
I've had 10 major surgeries, including 3 brain surgeries. And I have extreme rheumatoid arthritis, lupus, and fibromyalgia. And I wanted to let him know that his Balance of Nature have helped boost my immune system so much, because I'm on injectable medications for the rheumatoid, and they bring down your immune system. Since I've been taking Balance of Nature, I haven't gotten a cold, nothing. It really helped me tremendously.
Good health is only a phone call away. What are you waiting for? Don't miss your opportunity to get a free month's supply of Balance of Nature. Call 1-800-2468-751. That's 1-800-2468-751. Or go online to balanceofnature.com. Use promo code CHICAGO.
Depression. You need to make it go away. Cure or remission is here. The revolutionary treatment of TMS.
800-604-0208.
TMS therapy is drug-free and non-invasive. Here's how it works. There are areas of the brain that control mood. If you suffer from depression, research has found these areas to be underactive. TMS therapy uses safe, small magnetic fields, similar to those used in an MRI. They stimulate and activate these mood centers, causing long-term, medication-free relief. HBR centers in Chicagoland and Wisconsin offer TMS. End the frustration with life and relationships.
It's FDA cleared, and it is covered by most insurance, including Blue Cross, Blue Shield, and Medicare.
Dangerous drugs and other treatments just mask the depression. Cure or remission. Get a free consultation.
800-604-0208.
HPR centers. Go to endmydepression.com.
Attention Second Amendment patriots. Just Target Guns of Libertyville and Lake County just returned from the largest gun show in America with new products. They're fully stocked for home defense and all shooting sports. Just Target Guns, located in Libertyville on Peterson Road, is the place to go for rifles, pistols, antique firearms, ammunition, and all levels of shotguns. Connie Shanahan and the knowledgeable staff at Just Target Guns will answer all your questions, no matter your level of experience, and help discover what you need for sports shooting, trap, ski, target practice, or self-defense. Whether you're a novice shooter or a highly trained professional, Just Target Guns has got your brass covered. Get your FOID card, sign up for firearms training, and conceal and carry classes. Just Target Guns also has a skilled gunsmith on staff for repairs, and firearm appraisals are done in-house. Exercise your Second Amendment rights and set your sight on JustTargetGuns.com. That's JustTargetGuns.com.
Signature Bank is Chicago's fastest growing independently owned business bank. It's a bank where relationships still matter. Signature Bank knows your name and your story. I'm Dan Proft, and I know this because Signature Bank is my business bank.
I'm Jim Durkin, founding partner of the Martech Group, a global market research firm based in Chicago since 1985 and a longtime customer of Signature Bank. When our business moved to our current Loop location, I recall seeing Mick O'Rourke and his two business partners, Brian Duncan and Kevin Vestuga, laying the foundation for Signature Bank. When Signature opened its doors in 2006, I was proud to move our accounts there and become a shareholder. Being in the consulting business, the Martech Group has a keen understanding of the value of relationships, trust, and attentiveness. Whether dealing with our U.S. practice or our international operations, Signature Bank is always there when we need them. That's why the Martech Group is proud to have Signature Bank as a valued business partner.
Signature Bank is looking for their next success story. Learn more about turning your business vision into reality. Visit signature-bank.com. Signature Bank, helping local businesses succeed. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
AM 560, The Answer.
Yeah.
Oh, your clothes. I am getting so hot. I won't take my clothes off. Well, that might happen in your favorite progressive town of Berkeley, California. There's a push to go topless so they can equalize the gender nudity laws. I mean, if guys are walking around with their shirts off, why can't women?
Just being topless, I think, is kind of a physical kind of form of freedom.
Yeah.
Oh, and you would want to see her form of freedom.
Child.
No, that she was hot.
We were born naked. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know.
Yeah.
Our nipples were showing when we were born. So what's wrong with that?
So come on, latch on. Our nipples were born.
It's difficult for me to take anyone seriously who's giggling when they say nipples.
Which is nipples.
I feel like for me, it might be uncomfortable, but it'd be on the really hot days. It might be nice for some people.
Sure, let the arm hair, the armpit hair breathe.
No, but I don't. Do you want to see
Berkeley?
that? Because
there's Berkeley?
There's some men. No, those women. Some were hot, some were not. But some men should be forced to put their shirts on because we don't need to see the man boobs. We don't need to see the fat bellies. Why? I mean, there's some women, who want to take their shirts up. Now, others don't because they want to, keep men guessing, and maybe they don't want to be naked in front of their children.
But I do think that there are lines, and I don't know. I'm not afraid to say the line that I would draw, and one line that I would draw is that no, keep your bra on and your shirt on.
Yeah. So what do you think, Dan?
I think Chris Christie should keep his bra on and his shirt on. I think there are some lines. I agree.
I'm still recovering from the video of him sitting at the beach in his short shorts with his T-shirt on. Remember that?
Yeah.
Yeah. You can't get that out of your head.
By the way, you call those cheap implants boobs? Those aren't boobs. They're lies.
Coming up on Chicago's Morning Answer.
Trump and his new buddies Chuck and Nancy raised the debt ceiling and want to come to a deal on DACA at 808.
But first, into the newsroom we go. Here's Mike Scott.
An explosion at an East Chicago post office. The FBI is examining the evidence. A gubernatorial candidate drops a running mate over Israel policy. A man found dead in a Woodstock farm field. Cubs blank the Pirates. The Indians trip up the White Sox and match a franchise record with a 14th straight win. Sunshine this morning. WIND Chicago News Time is 8 o'clock.
A storm of epic proportions. I'm Dave Anthony, Fox News. That's what the Dutch Prime Minister is saying about Irma, that the hurricane devastated St. Martin. There's severe and critical damage on the British Virgin Islands, St. Bart's, and other Caribbean islands as well.
The extent of the destruction in Barbuda is unprecedented.
Prime Minister Gaston Brown says every building in Barbuda is damaged. The storm's blamed for at least 10 deaths. Still has a 180-mile-an-hour wind, closing in next on Turks and Caicos and the Bahamas, and then it may weaken a little before Saturday.
Right on target for South Florida and the Keys. And then Sunday, it travels very close or on top of Florida and then perhaps makes another landfall across either Georgia or the Carolinas.
Fox meteorologist Janice Dean. So people from the Carolinas on down are getting ready. President Trump just tweeted, "Be careful, be safe." Fox's Evan Brown live in Pembroke finds Florida.
Now, Dave, it's less likely you'll find supplies here today.
It's hard to find water. Water is cleared out.
Evacuations are more prevalent. The Keys began moving people out yesterday, as did Miami-Dade for people on beaches and low-lying areas along the intracoastal waterways. Broward County does the same today. Sheriff Scott Israel.
We'll stop responding when winds reach a sustained speed of about 45 miles an hour. They need to be safe and secure as well.
And the robocalls from the power company to the insurance agents are burning up all our cell phones, Dave.
Evan, Donald Trump Jr. heads to the Senate later this hour to be interviewed in private in the Judiciary Committee's probe into Russian campaign interference. At issue, the meeting he attended with a Russian lawyer in 2016 to get dirt on Hillary Clinton. The FBI and ATF are at the post office in East Chicago, Indiana, where there was an explosion last night.
It was actually inside. I cannot tell you exactly where, but it was inside.
Acting East Chicago Fire Chief Francisco Mendez, a postal worker was injured, but not in a life-threatening way. There are reports 2 pipe bombs were found at the scene. Fox News, fair and balanced.
Blue skies, sunshine. 54 degrees, 8:02 on AM 560. The Answer. Good morning. I'm Mike Scott. Chicago City Council going on record calling for a state law to replace the DACA program if its protection of young illegal immigrants goes away. AM 560's David Stewart has more from Chicago City Hall.
Aldermen unanimously passed a resolution calling for the state to pass its own DREAM Act. Aldermen like Harry Osterman said dreamers deserve protection.
All they want, all their parents want, is a better way of life. They want to contribute.
Mayor Emanuel says Governor Rauner should get behind such a law, but Rauner says no, it's an issue for Congress.
These children do not deserve to be left in limbo. We need resolution. We need comprehensive immigration reform through Congress.
Illinois has about 42,000 dreamers. David Stewart, NBC News Radio, Chicago.
Chicago police are searching for 2 men suspected of sexually assaulting a 15-year-old girl this week on the west side. Authorities say the teen was attacked Monday night on West Jackson Boulevard, and the men made off in a tan vehicle. Democratic gubernatorial candidate Daniel Biss moving forward without Chicago Alderman Carlos Ramirez Rosa. State Senator announcing yesterday he's dropped the city council member as his running mate over comments he made last year about the U.S. divesting from Israel. An investigation continues after a man was found dead in Woodstock. Ryan Hansen's body was discovered this week in a farm field off Charles Road. Right now, no foul play is suspected. Cubs over the Pirates 1-0. Indians top the White Sox 5-1. The news, a service of your local Jeep dealer. It's 1 week to Jeep. That's your local Jeep dealer. Get the best deals of the year on the award-winning lineup, but don't wait. 1 week to Jeep. And soon, hurry in and see your local Jeep dealer today. 8:03, time for the AM 560 Business Beat. From the Fox Business Network, a service of Turnkey.pro, here's Ginny Casola.
From the Fox Business Network, cell phone companies have been stepping up their service to withstand significant wind and flood risks from a hurricane. The Miami Herald says AT&T, Verizon, and Sprint say their towers and antenna systems are built to withstand significant wind and flood risks. Phone companies can deploy portable cell trucks to provide temporary service until repairs are made. Gasoline prices are higher again today. GasBuddy.com says the national average for a gallon of regular is $2.67. There's speculation gas prices might not be back to normal until October. Nestle, known for its Crunch and Kit Kat candy bars, is expanding into veggie burritos. Nestle, which also owns Lean Cuisine and Stouffer's, is buying Sweet Earth, a company that makes frozen burritos stuffed with quinoa, beans, and other vegetarian ingredients. With the Fox Business Report, I'm Jenny Cosola.
It's 8:05. A check of traffic and weather on the way next on AM 560.
Message and data rates may apply.
Attention, it is illegal to text and drive. So if you're experiencing hair loss and you want a permanent solution, please pull over now, because an incredible offer that could give you your hair back is just one text away. Bosley is America's #1 hair restoration expert, always pioneering the latest technology. And now we're giving everyone who texts GROW to 543-543. An absolutely free information kit that reveals just how easy and affordable this permanent solution really is. Don't wait. When you text GROW to 543-543, we'll also give you a gift card for $250 off. Millions of men and women have come to Bosley for a permanent solution to hair loss. So pull over now and see for yourself how great your hair could look with an absolutely free information kit. Text GROW to 543-543. Plus, get a free gift card. This amazing offer is just one text away. GROW to 543-543.
All money managers may seem pretty much the same. But while some money managers may recommend high commission investment products, Fisher Investments avoids them. Some money managers may have hidden and layered fees. Fisher Investments never does. And while some money managers are happy to earn commissions from you, whether you do well or not, Fisher Investments fees are structured so we do better when you do better. In other words, we're structured to be on your side. Maybe that's why most of our clients come to us from other money managers. Talk with us and find out why so many experienced investors are switching to and staying with Fisher Investments. Fisher Investments, clearly better money management. Investments in securities involve the risk of loss. Visit us at FisherInvestments.com to find out what we can do for you.
It is 8:07. Let's get an update on the morning commute in the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center. Here's Jim.
Thanks, Mike. It's very heavy on the inbound Eisenhower now. We're looking at an hour and 29 minutes from Thorndale to the old post office downtown. The travel time from Manheim to the old post office is at an hour as well. In fact, it's about an hour and 13 minutes now from Manheim. Outbound 55 minutes to Thorndale. The delays are from North Avenue pretty much all the way in. The Eden's 23 minutes, Lake Hook to the Junction. Outbound 36. The Kennedy, an hour and 6 minutes, O'Hare to downtown. 38 minutes from Montrose. 34 in the Express. Outbound 42 O'Hare. Stevenson, an hour and 7 minutes. 355 to Lakeshore Drive. Outbound 38 minutes. The Ryan is 30 minutes, 95th to downtown. I-57, 50 minutes, I-80 to the Ryan. Bishop Ford, 43. Southbound Lakeshore Drive, 35 minutes, Hollywood to Monroe. Northbound Heavy Roosevelt to Jackson. Southbound Tri-States, though, 132 to 176. Northbound, 111th, most of the way to 47th. And from the Reagan Tollway to Irving Park. Adams Tollway, slowly to the Tri-State. Reagan Tollway, 31 to Eola. Veterans Memorial from I-55 most of the way to Roosevelt, and Army Trail to 290. Southbound 53 is bottled up. Randy Kirchhoff. Westbound 8094, slow I-65 to Burr. Traffic answers when you need them most. I'm Jim Talamonte. AM 560, The Answer.
Chicago's Morning Answer continues next. Your official Chicagoland weather forecast with our meteorologist, Kevin Snyder.
Clouds and sun for today with an afternoon shower and spots. High 68, partly cloudy night, low 53. Partial sunshine tomorrow, high 66, and a clear night, low 51. Sunshine Saturday, high 68. I'm Kevin Snyder on AM 560, The Answer.
We are at 54 at O'Hare. Next news at 8:30. Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy continues next on AM 560, The Answer.
This hourly segment is brought to you by Mortgage Makeovers, a show walking you through stress-free mortgage options. Mortgage Makeovers, Sunday afternoons at 1 on AM 560, The Answer.
This is Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan Proft and Amy Jacobson on AM 560, The Answer.
Good morning, Dan and Amy. What do you think of Trump's new friendships with Chuck and Nancy, as he calls them. He had a lot to say about his new buddies Chuck and Nancy on a couple of important matters. One, raising the debt ceiling. Two, DACA, this aboard Air Force One.
We had a very good meeting with Nancy Pelosi and Chuck Schumer. We agreed to a 3-month extension on debt ceiling, which they consider to be sacred, very important. Always will agree on debt ceiling automatically because of the importance of it.
Well, and didn't Paul Ryan and the Republicans, didn't they want an 18-month?
Yes, they didn't want to have to do this again prior to the 2018 election.
Right.
This is a pro forma event, though. I don't know that anybody actually suffers any political blowback because, I mean, it's been done 10 times in the last 10 years. This is the debt ceiling was created in 1917 to finance World War I, and of course it's been used and abused and distorted beyond all original intention in the intervening 100 years, because that's what happens in government. But is there controversy about the debt ceiling, about continuing to borrow? I mean, that's what the debt ceiling is, right?
Right.
It's a limit on the U.S. Treasury's ability to issue debt, so the limit on the ability of the federal government to borrow. I mean, I've got an issue with it, but, you know, people, do you think out in the hustings, people are worried about, concerned about holding anybody accountable for the debt ceiling? If they were, it wouldn't be such a pro forma exercise as opposed to just a political gamesmanship, don't you think?
I don't know. I mean, but it says the GOP is shell-shocked that the president sided. Well, there is a quite a disturbing picture for all the, you know, bad rhetoric exchange between Chuck Schumer and President Trump of them locked arm in arm like two New Yorkers. You know, it was a picture shot at, you know, while they were in the Oval Office through a window.
Right, because politics is not about friend making; it's about aligning interests, which is something that many people don't really seem to understand. Oh, they hate each other. They may not like each other. They may be indifferent. They may actually be friends. It's about aligning interests. That's what politics is. And the reason, for example, Republicans are usually so bad at it, take Illinois, for example, is because they don't understand it and they don't behave that way. They surrender to interests, but they don't ever do the necessary work to align interests to advance a conservative reform agenda, for example. Like, say, I don't know, every other state around us has done with conservative reform leaders, from Scott Walker to Mitch Daniels to Mike Pence to Eric Holcomb in Indiana and Iowa, Michigan, Missouri. I could go on.
Yeah.
So the question is why Trump's about face with Pelosi and Schumer. Why
is he in this deal cutting mode?
And it's not deep, but why does he essentially kind of give dismissive treatment to Paul Ryan and Mitch McConnell's interests?
Because I think
particularly Paul Ryan's.
Personally, I think it's payback for the health care bill, that they couldn't get that passed, and that President Trump had his aha moments. You know, maybe I need Democrats on my side to get things done.
No. I mean, I think that's half right. I don't think it's about I need Democrats on my side to get things done. I need Democrats on my side for another matter. And I think there's something we say about kind of him having lost confidence in Ryan and McConnell because of the Obamacare replace failure. I think that's a legitimate point. I think there's something to that. A friend of mine emailed me on the subject. I think he's got it sussed out pretty well. Mm-hmm. He writes that Trump is hedging his bets on the Republican Party's ability to hold the House. To mitigate risk of subsequent impeachment if Republicans lost the House, he's creating the impression that with the Dems, that he can be their guy too. If the Dems buy that, why impeach Trump to get to Pence? Why not keep him there? Beat him up in your fundraising, but work with him behind the scenes.
Oh, I like your friend.
Yeah, well, he's a sharp political mind. That's why he's my friend.
Oh, okay.
So that seems to me a much better explanation. The best. Well, I mean, I think you're directionally right, and I think you had the point about him losing faith in Ryan and McConnell. But I think there's more to it than that. And I think, remember, aligning interests. What's Trump's interest? Trump.
Yeah.
So why is this in Trump's interest? It's not just to slap Ryan and McConnell. It's also to think ahead a little bit and say, I need a hedge for 2018 because with these guys not getting the things done that we need to get done, with tax reform still in peril, and as far as I'm concerned, if we don't get anything done, if they won't abide my agenda, if things aren't going as well come this time next year as I hope they'd be, economic growth and opportunity and the rest, and even if the public doesn't hold me accountable, Republican primary voters, for example, but they hold Republican members of Congress accountable, and they decide that if there's a rift between the president and my local member of Congress, I'm going with the president, then I need a hedge because, the Democrats have had the long knives out for me for day one. I think that makes a lot of sense. I think it's a pretty good analysis. Take a couple calls on this. Tim in Darien, Illinois. Of course, Illinois. Tim.
Hi, Dan. Hi, Amy.
Hey.
I had two comments. One is, the Republicans still have majorities in the House and Senate, and they don't have to go along with the Schumer-Pelosi deal. And the second is, maybe Trump, this vote on the debt ceiling is a pro forma thing. Maybe Trump is kind of shooting a ball across the Republicans' bow, saying, "Look, if you guys don't unite and vote for things, then I'm gonna corral in the Democrats."
Yeah, right. Thanks for the call, Tim. Related to this, yesterday night, so you may have missed this, the House voted to block federal transportation and housing funding from cities and states that choose not to cooperate with federal officials on immigration. In other words, sanctuary cities and states.
Yeah.
Like this one.
Oh, yeah.
Jason Smith, a Republican from Missouri, brought the language as an amendment to a minibus spending bill, but precluding transportation and housing funding from cities and states that are sanctuary cities and states. The fate of this language uncertain. Congress now expected to approve this continuing resolution per Trump's deal on the debt ceiling through mid-December. Only then would lawmakers take a closer look at spending as they get ready to pass a complete package of spending bills, I should say, for the rest of fiscal year 2018. So this isn't going to happen tomorrow. But this is another example of the House and the Senate and the President. Are they going to attach teeth to their pronouncements, for example, with respect to sanctuary cities and states? These are big questions, and the quality of the answers and the action that represents the answers will be impactful in 2018. And I think, as my friend, per my friend's analysis, that Trump is hedging. Mark in Plainfield.
Good morning, Dan and Amy. Let me first state that I think Trump was a gift from God, and the Republicans looked that gift horse in the mouth, so that's why Trump is doing this. Trump wants to get things done. It's quite obvious that McConnell and Ryan couldn't, so maybe Trump is going to do what he does best and start trading things off. Maybe to get the wall, he does DACA. Maybe to get tax reform, he does single payer. But Trump, he wants to do what's best for America, and if he needs to trade with the Democrats, he's going to do it.
Well, that may be right, Mark. Thanks for the call. The quality of the trade matters. It's not just getting something done, not just getting a deal done, the quality of the deal. So, for example, some permanent status for DACA designees in exchange for border security funding.
For the wall.
Yeah, okay.
That sits well with me.
Okay.
That sounds like a great idea.
Single payer for tax reform? Not so much. So the kind of just horse trading, we got to get in a room and hash it out. We're going to stay at this table until we cut a deal. No. The whole process is fascinating and interesting. The cliches are really enjoyable. I've loved hearing them in this state for the last 25 years as you've had people surrender, not make a mutually beneficial deal, as would happen like in a private sector relationship. Republican surrender, of course. So yeah, the nature of what you're giving versus what you're getting is where the conversation needs to stay focused.
But I think it's interesting to hear about what happened in the Oval Office yesterday, because you had all the leaders there. You had Ryan, Mitch McConnell, Nancy Pelosi, Chuck Schumer, and while Trump's Treasury... I prefer
Nancy and Chuck.
Okay, well, while
we don't need the last names.
Trump's Treasury Secretary Steve Mnuchin was in the middle of arguing for a longer period when Trump just cut him off and sided with the Democrats, and apparently McConnell and Ryan were just aghast. And
yeah. This
What?
conversation's over.
Yeah, that's so
Well,
they didn't see it coming.
The other thing that he wanted to get done, though, is, and this is relevant, and there's some merit to this, is getting that $8 billion in Hurricane Harvey
Right.
relief.
That was
Get that through and get that distributed, and
that was at the top of his agenda. He
Right.
didn't want to fight about that.
yeah, and show hyper responsiveness to the needs of the victims of the Hurricane Harvey. So that makes sense. And remember here, all of this talk about Ryan and McConnell being aghast. Number one, remember the D.C. Press Corps' interest is in fomenting discord among Republicans. Number two, remember Ryan and McConnell have gone along with interminable number of debt ceiling raises. So it's not like they're debt ceiling hawks on the issue. They want to be perceived as debt ceiling hawks. They're introspective about this. They're circumspect with respect to the timing, politically as well as substantively. They really haven't been. So, it's a little bit of kind of who you kidding to Ryan and McConnell, and frankly, Trump has a point on that. Marianne and Wilmette.
Hi. I know that whatever deal goes through, there's one thing that I would love someone to address, and I'm not going to use the term anchor babies because people get their knickers in a knot over it. But
Please don't use the term knickers either.
Gauchos we like.
I'm old school. Anywho, I understand that the United States and Canada are the only two countries that recognize birthright citizenship. I don't know if that's true, but I know that we sure as hell do it, and I would love someone to say, we got to stop this.
Yeah, thanks for the call, Marianne. I mean, that is part of the conversation, the bigger conversation about our immigration legal regime in this country. And it was brought up during the presidential campaign. And people, even Gang of Eight members like Marco Rubio and sympathizers like Jeb Bush, talked about the need to reprioritize how we allow people to emigrate to this country. And, of course, the RAISE Act, sponsored by Tom Cotton from Arkansas, Senator from Arkansas, and David Perdue, Senator from Georgia, also presents a new scoring system that's more skills-focused than it is, necessarily family-focused in terms of, as you mentioned, birthright citizenship. So,
you don't like that idea, right?
Well, no, I'm open to the idea. I mean, the whole this is part of a larger conversation, even if it has to be done piecemeal. A larger conversation about what are we trying to accomplish with immigration in this country, right? And what is consistent with the founding principles of this country. And then let's pursue a holistic vision for immigration and, move the component parts as quickly as we can. And I think there's a point to be made about family unity. And I think there's merit to talking about more emphasis on skills-based immigration. So I don't know if scoring system, I don't like quotas, I don't like artificial numbers. I no more trust the federal government's ability to perfectly calibrate how many H-1B visas should be issued or how many people should be allowed to emigrate from this particular region or that particular region or the world over than I do any other economic forecasting they do. So it's just such a big conversation. And you need somebody, frankly, to put a marker down. I don't think the RAISE Act does it. I don't think that's enough. But it's a start of the conversation to put a marker down for here's what immigration could look like and here's the rationale for it and really hash it out. So, I mean, I applaud Cotton and Perdue for starting this dialogue. I don't think the RAISE Act is the end of it, but it's the start of something much bigger. And that's where we need to get to, because there are all kinds of paradoxes embedded in how we do immigration, regulate and don't regulate legal and illegal immigration in this country. And we're just kind of, nibbling at the margins. And this is why we have a patchwork of laws that are in contradiction to one another. Megan in Whiting, Indiana.
Hi, guys. Dan, that's such a wonderful view you just gave. I mean, yes, that's what we should do. Get together, talk about it, have an intelligent, rational conversation. But the Democrats don't want that. They just want whatever political power or capital they can gain. So I don't know how we would get to that.
It's not an easy path. There's no question. Thanks, Megan. Sean in Elmwood Park.
You know, Dan, the key to the Keynesian economy is the free printing is the constant flow of money and the ability to print it. That's what this debt ceiling thing is about, and they achieved it, and they achieved it in a bipartisan way. But you know, as I was listening to the callers, you had a caller a couple calls ago, and I've heard him call before. He's an older gentleman, and he used to care about the debt. He used to care about the money printing and the phony shovel-ready jobs and single payer. And what Trump is, the beauty of Trump, the infomercial salesman that he is, that he's achieved, is he's got these people believing he's a Bobby Fischer and he's outsmarted everybody. And in the meantime, no one's putting two and two together. The beat goes on. The song just plays louder. Chuck Schumer was elected in 1975 to the New York City Council. He's been a dear, dear friend and a donation recipient of Donald Trump. Oh, I know. It's just business as usual. Nancy Pelosi's husband, longtime West Coast developer, multi-billionaire, interwoven with Trump on many, many levels. And listen to how he speaks of the so-called enemies, Chuck and Nancy. But when it's a Republican who fights him on infrastructure, what happens? They're challenged. They're threatened to be challenged for their reelection. What you have is an infomercial con man, and a third of the country is long. They're all in. They're waiting for the platinum package, and they can't wait because their guy's in charge. And we're all on the same merry-go-round, and it's speeding up, and nobody cares. The debt goes on. It's okay. My guy's in charge. You're all sellouts. You're all just clueless.
All right.
The infomercial.
Thanks for the call, Sean. And I got to say, I'm impressed. I never thought I would hear a chess reference from Sean from Elmwood Park.
Listen to podcasts of Dan and Amy from the AM 560 mobile app. Download it today at 560theanswer.com/mobile.
Hi, I'm Lex Howard, CEO of Balance of Nature. I occasionally take new customer calls, and too often people tell me that they have heard our advertisements for years. If Balance of Nature is not currently being delivered to your doorstep, start now and begin experiencing the benefits of Balance of Nature in your life. Call and see how you can get your free month supply.
I noticed a difference in the first month.
I got rid of most of my other vitamins. I feel pretty good, even though I'm an old guy, 77. I think it's doing great.
I just feel good. I just believe they're really what they say they are.
Good health is only a phone call away. What are you waiting for? Don't miss your opportunity to find out how to get your free month supply of Balance of Nature. Call 1-800-2468-751. That's 1-800-2468-751. Or go online to balanceofnature.com.
Use promo code Chicago.
There's a meme bouncing around Facebook. You ready for this?
Yeah, you're laughing out loud. What is it?
Please join the anti-Trump rally. South Beach, Miami, September 9th and 10th. Be there or be fascist. No.
Too soon. That is, you know what? What will they come up with next? Those crazy kids?
After your choice of spouse where you send your kids to school is the most important decision you make. It's why I'm excited to tell you about Northridge Preparatory School, an independent Catholic school for boys in grades 6 through 12. There's no brainwashing that's prevalent elsewhere. Northridge Prep instills the traditional values that you hold as parents. Northridge Prep is all boys with an all-male faculty. They celebrate your son's natural enthusiasm. It's a good place to be a boy. I'm impressed by the men who teach there. They're great role models who get to the hearts of their students. Their demanding liberal arts curriculum produces well-rounded men with the ability to think for themselves. Northridge Prep grads go on to the best universities, including the Ivy League, have top athletics and arts programs, and are ranked the #1 best all-boys school in Illinois and top 100 high school in America from U.S. News and World Report. I strongly encourage you to attend Northridge Prep's open house on October 22nd. Again, that's October 22nd, their open house, particularly with tax credit scholarships coming online in Illinois. To learn more, visit northridgeprep.org. That's northridgeprep.org.
Once again, Schrank Smoke & Gun has great offers to save you money. For the month of September, get 10% off all Smith & Wesson firearms, new and used. There's pistols, revolvers, and rifles. Combine this sale with the M&P Perfect Summer Hideaway rebate for an even better deal. Plus, save even more money and avoid Cook County taxes at Schrank's. Schrank Smoke & Gun has Lake County's largest selection of new, used, and consignment pistols, rifles, shotguns, ammo, and full gunsmith services. And the Schrank's humidors have all of your favorite cigars. If you don't already know, find out in September why Schranks is the firearms store generations of customers trust. Visit smokethelettern.gun.org or call 847-662-4034. Like Schranks on Facebook and keep up with the Schranks valuable series of employee product and service recommendations. Schranks Smoke and Gun in Waukegan, your family-owned gun store since 1964.
Have you ever considered opening your own business? Have you ever wondered whether you had what it takes to be an entrepreneur? If you have the ambition and a sense of humor, you should pick up a copy of Who Wants to Be a Business-Heir. Unlike many of the how-to books about opening a new business, Who Wants to Be a Business-Heir is about what it feels like to be in business. It's about what aspiring entrepreneurs can expect to face in their new business and the issues that they need to consider. Written by attorney Scott Annis, with more than 25 years of experience in assisting small businesses, Who Wants to Be a Business-Heir offers some old-fashioned homespun advice, often told with clever and amusing anecdotes. It might make you laugh, it could make you cry, and it'll definitely make you think. If starting a new business has been on your mind, pick up a copy of Who Wants to Be a Business-Heir. That's spelled BUSINESSAIRE. It's available on Amazon or at thatbizlawyer.com. Pick up a copy of attorney Scott Annis's book, Who Wants to Be a Business-Heir, today.
AM 560, The Answer.
Coming up on Chicago's Morning Answer.
We'll pick up our discussion on the debt ceiling in DACA with Congressman Peter Roskam at 8:38. Also, Scott Walker says the states can fix the Obamacare disaster. We'll ask Congressman Roskam if he agrees with that.
And later, 2 nurses were fired for looking at what? We'll explain. But first, into the newsroom we go. Here's Mike Scott.
54 degrees and sunny skies. Folks are flooding out of the Florida Keys and Miami as Hurricane Irma powers toward the U.S. Forecasters expect Irma to hit Florida Sunday morning, and 3 counties are already under mandatory evacuation orders. Governor Rick Scott reminding Floridians and tourists to do everything they can to protect their families.
Possessions can be replaced. Your family cannot. This is serious, and we cannot take chances. It is life-threatening. This is not a storm you can sit and wait through.
A terrifyingly huge Category 5 storm taking aim at Turks and Caicos this morning. South Korea expects North Korea to launch another intercontinental ballistic missile this weekend. South Korea's prime minister saying today his country's military experts believe the North will fire off an ICBM Saturday. Earlier today, the final parts of an advanced U.S. missile defense system arrived in South Korea. Weekly jobless claims are the highest they've been in years. The Labor Department reports this morning 298,000 Americans filed first-time claims, 62,000 more than the previous week. Much of that, according to experts, blamed on Hurricane Harvey. The FBI investigating following an explosion in an East Chicago, Indiana post office. The blast happened last night, according to Fire Chief Francisco Mendez.
It was actually inside. I cannot tell you exactly where, but it was inside, and we believe it was a package.
One employee was hospitalized with minor injuries. United Airlines will not be punished by the feds for the passenger dragging incident earlier this year at O'Hare. The Department of Transportation has decided not to fine the airline after investigating the April incident that went viral involving David Dow, who was dragged off a United flight after refusing to give up his seat. Cubs over the Pirates 1-0. Indians have won 14 straight. It's shaping up to be a bit of an Oakland-like streak for the Tribe. 5-1 winners over the White Sox. This news update is service of Staples. With free next-day delivery from Staples, you can run your business like a pro. Go to staples.com for the office essentials you need delivered next day free on eligible items only and orders over $49.99. Place by 5 p.m. Excludes weekends and holidays. Staples, it's pro time. 8:34 and a check of traffic and weather on the way next on AM 560.
This hourly segment is brought to you by Papa Nicholas Coffee. Papa Nicholas Coffee, roasted fresh daily in Batavia, Illinois.
I ordered some Andro 400. I'm losing weight, too, around the belly really quickly. Some of the pants that didn't fit me, now they're falling off my hips. there's been a noticeable increase in energy. Then this stuff works. It does work.
That's what Bill said after taking Andro 400 for a month. Now listen to what Richard says about Andro 400.
I did a lot of research on it before I ordered it because I've tried other products in the past and they haven't worked. But I could not believe the difference literally within a month. Since I started taking it, I have lost 37 pounds. It was the belly fat. I could get weight off, but I could never get the tummy off. Now the tummy's coming off, and I have more energy than I've had in 20 years.
Guys, if you too want to lose belly fat, gain energy, and feel 20 years younger like Richard, try Andro 400. The safe, natural, and affordable way to boost your testosterone. Go to andro400.com or call 888-400-0435. That's 888-400-0435.
Is religious artwork allowed to be displayed on government property? This is Law and Justice with Jay Sekulow.
There was an article in the Washington Post. It's about religious artwork at the Rotunda. The People for the American Way, it's an organization that says it promotes religious freedom and respect for diversity, said that the artwork raises questions about the proper use of Christian artwork in government buildings. What if they come against the artwork and take it out? What can we do?
If they're going to take this kind of posture of removing everything that has any religious connotation to it, I think we have to be prepared to meet them in court. And I saw the article you were talking about, and the idea that you would have every religious reference removed from the government buildings is outrageous, but it tells you that they're not very much in favor of tolerance at all, because they have no tolerance for any Christian convictions or artwork in this particular case that would have a Christian theme to it.
Stay informed, get involved, and make a difference. Visit the American Center for Law and Justice at aclj.org. That's aclj.org.
8:36, and a check of your morning commute in the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center with Jim.
Thanks, Mike. Eden's inbound. Just a little tight Foster to Montrose. 21 minutes from Lake Cook to the junction. Outbound 32. The Kennedy runs an hour and 3 minutes. O'Hare to downtown. 37 minutes from Montrose. 42 in the Express. Outbound 38 to the airport. About Eisenhower. An hour and 25 minutes. Thorndale to downtown. An hour 8 from Manheim. Outbound 52 minutes to Thorndale. Stevenson, an hour and 12 minutes. 3:55 to Lakeshore Drive. Outbound 38 minutes. Ryan is 30 minutes, 95th to downtown. I-57, 45 minutes. I-80 to the Merge, Bishop Ford, 41. Southbound Lakeshore Drive, heavy Bryn Mawr to North Avenue. Tri-state delays are northbound from Harlem to 31st and from the Reagan Tollway to Irving Park. There's also a crash on the entrance ramp from Willow farther north. Adams Tollway is the lead to the Tri-state. Veterans Memorial from I-55 to the Reagan Tollway and Army Trail to 290. Traffic answers when you need them most. I'm Jim Talamonte on AM 560, The Answer.
Chicago's Morning Answer continues next, your official Chicagoland weather forecast. Cool with periods of clouds and sunshine. We'll have an afternoon shower in spots and a high near 68. Partly cloudy and 53 overnight, 66 tomorrow. Currently, we have sunshine and 56 degrees. Next news coming up at 9. Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy continues next on AM 560, The Answer.
This hourly segment is brought to you by MyPainChicago.com. World-class treatment for chronic pain. Go to MyPainChicago.com.
Don't miss Freedom Summit Chicago 2017, Saturday, November 11th, featuring Dinesh D'Souza and Oliver North. Tickets on sale now at FreedomSummitChicago.com.
Good morning, Dan and Amy. So a lot to talk about. The continuing tension between President Trump and House and Senate legislative leaders against the backdrop of the need to accomplish big things like tax reform. Mnuchin this morning saying the deal on the debt ceiling, as well as the attendant relief package for Hurricane Harvey victims, clears the way for tax reform. Clears the way for tax reform. He and Chuck, Nancy, Paul, Mitch.
It's just one big happy family. I think they took their Christmas card photo yesterday,
let's
too.
go down to Mar-a-Lago when the storm clears and hash it all out. It's going to be great.
We're going to work this out. I just love the picture, though, if you haven't seen it, of Trump and Chuck Schumer in an embrace.
Yeah, I liked Schumer more when he was the clown, when he was Pagliacci, and that's the space that he should continue to be forced to occupy. But for more on this topic, we're pleased to be joined by Congressman Peter Roskam, of course, Republican representative from the western suburbs out here, Illinois 6, if you're scoring at home. Peter, thanks for joining us. Appreciate it.
Hey, guys. Good to be with you. Thanks for having me on.
So do you agree with the positioning that Mnuchin offered, that debt ceiling raise, even though it wasn't what Ryan and McConnell wanted, 3 months, and the Harvey relief now clears the way for focus on tax reform, and that's something that the House is going to get its arms around?
No, I don't think it's that simple. And I don't think those things were obstacles to tax reform. The obstacles to tax reform are a sense of clarity on the conservative side about what we actually want. We've got a blueprint that we put out in the House, and it's been out for about a year, and we're really waiting for the Senate to react to that. And this is my analysis. The House is ready, the White House is ready, and the Senate, in my opinion, is dithering. They just don't seem to be hungry. There's not a sense of urgency. And so, yeah, I mean, is it helpful to have these things dealt with? Yeah, it's helpful. I don't think it's a very good deal. I think the president sort of took catnip from Pelosi and Schumer, and I think they outfoxed them. But that said, in answer to your question, I don't think that there's a relationship in the calendar between resolving these significant issues, Harvey, debt ceiling, continuing funding for the government, and fixing our tax code.
Well, so
moving on parallel tracks.
Okay, so on the tax code specifically, let's just stay on that track. We talked to Ed Fulner this week. We talked to Steve Moore, other free market tax reform types, and their suggestion is Paul Ryan's trying to do too much. He wants to do a full rewrite of the tax code, and that's a great thing in theory, but it's not practical. And what the House and the Senate should do is get the corporate rate as low as possible. If you can't get to 15, maybe 20. Maybe do something to lower marginal rates for middle-income families, double the standard deduction, and declare victory and move forward. What do you say to that?
So, yeah, I mean, there was a similar question that got posed to Steve Mnuchin before the Ways and Means Committee. This is a couple of months ago, and they were asking him, do you want permanent tax policy? Because that's really the underlying nature of this debate. And he said, look, permanent is better. Doing nothing is absolutely unacceptable, and temporary is okay. Because what you're describing is basically a temporary approach. Think Bush tax cuts in 2001 and 2003 that expired after 10 years. Was it helpful? Yeah. Is it as good as it could be? Absolutely not. So my thinking is let's go for fundamental tax reform. And I think that we're at a national inflection point. And the inflection is driven by the following. Number one, nobody's defending the status quo of the tax code. Think about it. People are doing practically candlelight vigils for the Affordable Care Act, but nobody is doing that for the Internal Revenue Code. And nobody likes the IRS, which, the three of us have talked about a lot over the past year. So use that inflection and then realize that the U.S. tax code has failed to be competitive. Now, as a fallback position, do you fall back and say, okay, let's take a little bit? Yeah, of course. But let's not start there. And so we've got a bold proposal that we've rallied around the House. We need the Senate to engage on this thing.
Okay, well,
say what you like, say what you don't like. But this game that they play over there, where they play this sort of senators. It's like this version of American Idol, where they're just judging and they won't tell you what their proposals are. It's a real weakness in the system right now.
Why are they dragging their feet on this?
I don't know. I mean, it's it's said that the Senate, if the Senate's a club, the House is a truck stop, and there is this real different feeling to these institutions. And I'm telling you, I think these senators are overthinking many of these questions. They're overthinking the health care debate. We had a good proposal that we moved out of the House. Again, if they didn't like our proposal, come up with what they like. And this is the Republicans. Okay, come up with what you like, and then let's go to a conference committee and let's work this thing out. But we've got to repeal this pernicious law, Obamacare, that's just crushing people. Let's do it. And the culture of the Senate, in my view, Amy, is now crashing in on itself. And the culture is this. Every senator walks around and they can procedurally, everybody can blow things up. And in the House, you got a rules committee. You can move things through the House. And in the Senate, every individual senator can basically stop things. They can put a hold on things and so forth. And now I think the culture of the Senate is crashing in on itself to the point of just dysfunction.
Well, yesterday night, I mentioned this a bit earlier, the House moved to block federal transportation and housing funding from cities and states that choose to be sanctuary cities and states, like, say, Chicago, like, say, Illinois. And I know that this is not dispositive of the issue, but should the House continue to pursue this and engage the Senate and the President on this as well, it seems that's the posture of the administration at the executive branch. And even though this would be hurtful to Chicago, Cook County, the state of Illinois, don't we have it coming?
Yeah. Chicago, Cook County, and the state of Illinois have to get its act together. And the notion of acting with impunity and basically saying we're going to choose which federal laws we choose, that we're going to obey. Can you imagine the outrage if there was some state that said, you know what, that Medicaid law, we're just not going to pay any attention to it, or these other welfare programs, we're just not going to pay any attention to that in our state. The liberals would be outraged. The left would be fuming. They'd be marching about a federal system and so forth. And so the hypocrisy here is it's hard to overstate it. And so, yeah, it's coming. This is a fight that's coming. If you got states and jurisdictions that basically stiff arm and say we don't want to follow federal law, but we want federal money. Think about that. I think most folks in my district say that's ridiculous.
So what do you think of the new relationship budding between Chuck and Nancy and President Trump?
I don't know. I was not in the room. So I don't have a sense of sort of what the personal dynamic is, but I described this a couple of minutes ago, basically as catnip. They put it out there, and I think Trump jumped for it. I think the president made a mistake. I think he's going to put a lot of pressure on himself and everybody else in December, and I think it would have been a much smarter move to break these things down and, to deal with them independently, or at least don't commingle them all and put a big jam up in December. That just never ends well.
I think Nancy Pelosi's dead eyes put him into some kind of trance, and so I think that they could have hypnotized him in some way. Let me ask you about Obamacare, since you mentioned the candlelight vigils. Our friend to the north, Governor Scott Walker, who we continue to implore him to annex Illinois, he has an op-ed in Washington Examiner that states can fix the Obamacare's mess. If Congress can't lead on it, he's happy to pick up the mantle. He compares this problem to the block grants that states use for welfare reform, and states have a stable source of funding from the federal government called TANF, Temporary Aid for Needy Families, which enables them to transition from government dependence to independence through work. This was led by Midwestern governors in the 90s, including Tommy Thompson of Wisconsin, a predecessor. And so why can't we do the same thing with Obamacare? Give states like Wisconsin the resources, and Scott Walker is willing to take the responsibility. What do you say to that?
I think it's a great idea. I mean, that was the core of his argument and his proposal is at the centerpiece of the bill that moved out of the House. In other words, there was a waiver provision wherein a state can say, hey, we can do this better, faster, and cheaper, and we know what's going on the ground in our state, and they would go to Tom Price, the Secretary of Health and Human Services, lay out their plan and get a waiver. So I think that's we all have nothing but respect for what Wisconsin has done on these big core issues, and I think Governor Walker's insight is welcome and it's timely, and what it continues to do is to suggest this notion that the Senate is now playing political not it. You know what I mean? They're like, well, we've done our best. We really tried hard. We had a couple of roll calls. That's just not good enough. And now governors are speaking out. House members are speaking out. The president's been all over the United States Senate to take this thing up and get it done. Think about a jury that comes out, after they've been given a case and they tell a judge after a few hours of deliberation, well, Your Honor, we're a hung jury. We can't come to an agreement. And the judge says, you're not a hung jury. Get back in there. We're not going to try this case again, and settle down and come to a verdict. And they do, by and large. So that's what's got to happen, and continuous pressure on the Senate to perform.
All right. He is Congressman Peter Roskam, Republican from Illinois 6, out in the western burbs. Peter, thanks as always for joining us. Appreciate it.
Thanks, guys.
And he joined us on our turnkey.pro answer line.
There's only one radio show in Chicago talking about today's biggest stories and telling you what they really mean. That show is this one, Chicago's Morning Answer on AM 560, The Answer.
All right, I have to admit it was an eyesore, the chipping and paint peeling on our front and back porch. It looked awful, but thanks to CertaPro painters, the porch looks brand new. The painters who showed up were professional, respectful. They were done in just a few hours, and when they left, the house looked brand new. They really are the best in the business, and it's not too late to book your exterior painting project. There are several spots open on CertaPro's summer schedule. Here's an idea. Let CertaPro painters transform your home while you're on vacation and return to a freshly painted house. They're celebrating their 25th anniversary this year, and so we invite you to experience the CertaPro difference. For a free estimate, call 1-800-GO-CERTA, C-E-R-T-A, or visit CertaPro.com, that's Certa with the C. Get that painting project off your to-do list. Each CertaPro painter's business is independently owned and operated. CertaPro painters, we do painting, you do life.
Does how you feel interfere with your lifestyle? Take control before it does. Harvard Medical recently published a paper on how to decrease your risk of cancer, heart disease, blood pressure, diabetes, bowel and vision problems. The answer, backed by dozens of studies, is not vitamins. It's eating more fruits and vegetables in their whole, complete form. 4 simple tips that I've used with my patients over the years are: 1. Keep fruits and vegetables where you can see them readily. 2. Get crazy. Explore the produce aisle and choose something new. 3. Make it a meal. Try new recipes that include more vegetables and fruits. And the easiest of all, to get the complete nutrition of 31 different fruits and vegetables every day, take Balance of Nature.
What are you waiting for? Don't miss your opportunity to get a free month supply of Balance of Nature. Call 1-800-2468-751 or go to balanceofnature.com.
Use promo code Chicago.
This is Dan Proft with 60 Seconds of Sanity, sponsored by Upstream-Ideas.com. Moderation in pursuit of justice is a virtue for New York Times columnist David Brooks. The truth is plural, writes Brooks in What Moderates Believe. Brooks puts fresh finish on the worn-out bipartisan compromise trope, arguing that politics is usually a tension between 2 or more views, each of which possesses a piece of truth. Brooks doesn't consider that people can work together to end racial discrimination, just as they can work together to rob a bank. The means is less important than the ends. Brooks characterizes moderates as courageous for recognizing what they don't know, only to turn around and claim that government can create a platform upon which the beautiful things in life can flourish. So an individual moderate is humbled and thus restrained by his ignorance, but a group of moderates, given the power of the state, is transformed into an omniscient force for good. David Brooks, in his press sweater vest, is the archetype of the moderate ideologue. He is who conservative U.S. Senator Malcolm Wallop was describing when Wallop said, "The problem with the Republican Party is if the Democrats introduce legislation to burn down the U.S. Capitol, Republicans would compromise and agree to phase it in over 3 years."
Policies issued by American General Life Insurance Company, Houston, Texas. Not available in all states. For details, visit AIGdirect.com.
If you're young and healthy, you don't need life insurance, right? Yeah, that's what I used to think too, until my brother died at 38. Joe left his wife with 2 kids, a mortgage, and a stack of bills she couldn't pay. Mary had to sell the house and move everybody into this tiny 2-bedroom apartment just to make ends meet. I never want to do that to my wife, so I got life insurance. I called AIG Direct and was really surprised how affordable it is. Just $14 a month for $250,000 of term life coverage. Listen, if you have a family, you should seriously think about getting life insurance. You'll feel a lot better having it, trust me.
Call AIG Direct for a free, no-obligation quote. The call takes less than 5 minutes, and you could save up to 70%. Call now, 1-800-700-5593. That's 1-800-700-5593. 1-800-700-5593.
Ever since I was little, I imagined owning a bakery. With hard work, I made it happen. But after this weekend's robbery, I realized that I need to protect my dream with security.
I've got a great answer for you. Alarm Detection Systems, your local family-owned business, understands the threats you might face. Visit adsalarm.com or call 630-844-6300 and find out how we can protect you. License number 127000143.
I manage a construction site, and the other morning we had to send half of the crew home because of missing equipment. This nonsense is cutting into my time and budget.
Here's what you need to know. Alarm Detection Systems offers mobile security solutions that expand with your project. Visit adsalarm.com or call 630-844-6300 to find out about our alarm and video protection. License number 127000143.
Hey guys, Ken here from the hit podcast Today's Growth, now heard regularly in 18 countries. What percentage of you listening to this commercial often say to yourself, what could I do to make more money, or how can we increase our business? I'm guessing that's most of you. Have you ever heard knock on the door and it'll open? Well, my friends at Income Store have doors you can open that can help you or your family make more money, or doors that lead to an increase in revenue for any business of any size. Income Store has 2 main doors on their website. These doors lead to over 2,000 revenue-generating ideas and products. Although a few of their products are pricey, 90+% of their growth formulas are delivered free or nearly free. Income Store's growth products and ideas have been publicized and featured on Forbes, Inc., USA Today, and recently the Biography Channel. Could your household or business use a revenue shot in the backside? Are you sick of your checkbook talking back and saying no? If so, you need to knock on the doors of IncomeStore.com. That's IncomeStore.com.
Are you facing foreclosure, been foreclosed upon, in a bad modification, or just stuck in a bad mortgage? Well, we may be able to help you. My name is Lou Bridges. I'm an attorney with the law firm of Lou Bridges & Associates. We've been helping distressed homeowners like you for over 8 years now. We defend foreclosure actions. We bring claims against the banks and the servicers for wrongful foreclosure and other violations of mortgage servicing regulations. And we help people negotiate modifications of their existing mortgages, often including principal reductions. Give us a call. We provide free consultations. I guarantee you it will not be a sales pitch. We will give you our honest analysis, counsel, and advice regarding your options.
Hi, this is Rayanne from Lou Bridges & Associates. I am one of the loan modification processors here, and if you are in need of any additional information in regard to a loan modification, please contact the office.
Go to bridgeslaw.net or call 224-513-1231. That's 224-513-1231.
Remember, people, never give up the land. Fight for truth and justice. You do that, and I guarantee you'll never be alone.
AM 560, The Answer.
Can't wait to hear this story.
Good morning, Dan and Amy. Yeah.
Yeah? Oh, yeah. Where does this come to us from?
This
Down
comes to
under?
us from Denver Health Medical Center. 5 nurses suspended for 3 weeks after they inappropriately viewed a deceased patient's body and talked about it. A Denver 7 news investigation. I'm sure their version of Chuck
Denver
Gotti
7.
was all over it.
Sounds more like Dave Savini, but okay, go on.
Sure.
Ew,
Yeah.
Hey, what's in the curtains in your hotel?
Right,
What's
yeah.
on your bedspread in your hotel? What's on the ceiling? What's on the walls? Tell me it all.
Luminol.
I was there when that happened. I'm like,
Luminol.
excuse me, what story are you working on, Savini?
Any story that where luminol is the focus, it's going to be
So
gonna
what,
be revelatory.
well, did they mess with the corpse?
Please let it be urine.
Oh.
Please let it be urine.
Oh.
Okay, yeah. So they viewed the corpse.
Yeah.
Let me
The girls
just.
got to eat. Oh, did I just
I
say
don't,
that?
I don't even understand what that means.
Good.
Denver police report. Let me just quote from that. Multiple staff members viewed the victim while he was incapacitated. Yeah. Including after he was deceased, where he was permanently incapacitated. The complaint made the complainant, the risk management for Denver Health Center, made a mandatory report. Apparently, per the buzz around the nursing station, they zipped him open so that they could see the size of his unit.
Oh, yeah. Oh.
Yeah.
Come here, ladies. You gotta let me entertain you while you're at work. Well, I mean, women look. I'm sorry.
Excuse me. Hello. Hello, sexist.
Oh, were they male nurses?
I don't know. It just says nurses. Why are you assuming?
Because I think it was ladies. Ladies like to look. I'm sticking with ladies. They better be women.
Mm-hmm.
Why do you find this so shocking? Because you brought up the story and I said, of course they looked. Because
Well,
if word gets around, like,
staff members looking
did
at the
you
staff.
say staff?
Yeah. So
Well, it could have been an anomaly, so they decided to check out this rare.
Well, I think, I want to give them the benefit of the doubt, these male or female nurses. I don't know which they are. I don't make assumptions. Perhaps it was just a moment of silence to observe a great loss.
Thanks for making us part of your morning. Thanks to Justin Kosick, our technical director, Keith Conrad, our executive producer, and thanks to all of you who listen, and we'll hear you back here tomorrow morning at 5 a.m. Now let's go into the newsroom. Oh, don't shake your head in disgust.
See what I got to put up with every day, listeners? Every single day.
Here's Mike Scott.
54 degrees, clouds, and sunshine. An investigation in East Chicago will tell you why. WIND Chicago Newsroom. It's 9.